Alright, is it working? Do I have it working finally? The biggest question is going to be whether you guys can actually hear the game without stuttering. Welcome everybody, Happy New Year! Always feels good to be back to a new playthrough. Very excited about this one, because I'm going to take it slow and steady with the goal cleaning up SS2. Giving it the old spit shine it needs at this point. Paul Henry Phelps, thank you for the donation. And, let's see, yeah, Super Chat, welcome. And happy birthday. Hey, there's everybody. Can you guys hear me all right? Nick Carter, Alexander, Ravenswift, Brambleberry. Hello, guys. Shadow Dragon, Happy New Year to you as well. Kid Commonwealth, hello. See and hear just well. That's awesome. Thank you. I can read emoticons. It's amazing. All right, actually, I'm gonna move my chat. Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna switch my chat around a little bit here, so I can see it more clearly. So I'm going to be doing something weird today because I'm going to be jumping between two different PCs. So I have my streaming PC, which is like which has all of my dev stuff on it. I actually stream from my dev machine, and then I play on a dedicated gaming machine. And then it's like routed through to that. But when we come to try and like polish things up, but jump into CK, we'll have to switch computers. So I don't know how that's going to work yet. I don't really have like a what are those things, like a Stream Deck yet to push buttons, so it's going to be just me monkeying around with Streamlabs trying to figure this out for the first 2 weeks. I'm probably going to get a Stream Deck for this because it'll just make this a lot easier if I can quickly jump back and forth between them. But for now, we'll suffer through with my mediocre setup here. Sound is great, thank you. Negligent Discharge, ooh, that's a username. Keep up the good work, thank you. Hey, Blade Killer. Carbon Kid 85 here loud and clear. Awesome. Rain, hello. Maurice, Happy New Year to you as well. Slangel, hello. Charles Joseph, SOS, SimSettlements Conquer main story doesn't work anymore. Oh, geez. Where does it get stuck these days? We have, there's a few bug reports starting to show up because Sasori, who does a lot of testing on SimSettlements, started doing a Conqueror playthrough a few months back, may have been a year by now, and has posted a handful of bugs. But SS1 is a tough egg to crack these days, so I may go back and patch it once we have some confirmed issues. But yeah, that will, Charles, you'll definitely want to get involved on our, try and find some help on our SimSettlements forums. I know this SS1 part isn't that active though, because it's not nearly as many players. But we definitely need reproduction steps to fix stuff on that, just because it's been so many years since I've touched that code that it's likely that any patch I put out without reproduction steps, I would likely make things worse than better. So, can't talk to the guy after the gunner's attack. Well, that's not good. But yeah, it depends on, like, if your load order's fairly small, like sub 30 mods, then like I can have somebody take a look at your save and see if we can figure it out. But if you got a big giant load order, going to be difficult to do anything about, but if you've got a small order, we might be able to help you on the forums. So feel free to post on there if you have already tried that and you're having no luck. I'll see what I can do about getting you in touch with somebody here. I love Conqueror so much, great storyline. Thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one. I hope one day we can port it over to SS2, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a complicated story behind Conqueror. Blade Killer just got my info for it. This is working again. Need to get updated my add-on pack now. Fair. Yeah, there's a lot. I actually have a lot of add-on packs installed today. I haven't, and I'm going to keep adding more. I know there are hundreds of them available now. So I will probably keep adding more as we go through this playthrough. We got a full year ahead of us. I'm sure it's not just you, Charles. But I gotta have to have reproduction steps for it so that I can actually take a save and get it there that doesn't have a bunch of other mods installed. Otherwise, it'll be really difficult for me to actually make any changes to solve the issue for you. Everyone on Xbox has the same issue. Interesting. Using the Nuka World Raiders as an entry into Concord story would be a decent shout. Yeah, the Nuka... We talked about using Nuka World Raiders at some point. It's really complicated to involve Nuka World or Far Harbor into our story content, just because as soon as we parent to those, it just creates a lot of problems for us from a technical standpoint. There's just a lot of issues in the CK with that. So we've just tended to avoid it on all the projects now. Alright guys, let's get into this here. So, I have finally done something. I don't know why I haven't done this in other playthroughs. So I have a face of KG. Needs sunglasses. But my, I never imported it before into my playthroughs. I've done it on my, when I have the, what do you call it, the charity events and such, where I am, my character is sitting behind a desk and hosting, but I've never done it on the character I play with. So finally did that today. I've got I imported it onto a save that was a save I downloaded from Nexus. This is after the pre-war sequence, and I didn't realize it was a female save named Eliza, so we got to fix our character name here. So change name, and we'll name that King. Oops. If I could spell, that'd be great. Well, I just can't reach this keyboard barely. There we go. All right. Got King again. I go with King every time rather than King Gath or Gath, because then Codsworth will actually say the name. So let's see. What are we going to do for stats today? So let's talk about what this playthrough is going to be. So we're going to have a... So we're going to play through, obviously, SS2 focused. We're not worried about getting all the way to Chapter 3 yet, so I don't think we're going to play any vanilla content. We're mostly going to be, for this first... So I don't know how long this is going to take, but we're going to be slow and steady. So we're going to be trying to like go to each quest, play through some of it. I might even be like save scumming to try different dialogue options, see how they all feel, and then we'll play like half of the playthrough like that, and then we'll bop over to my CK system, and we're gonna do some work on it. So I'll be taking notes during this. Some of the time, if it's really easy fixes, we might just pause and bop over to CK immediately. I'm gonna play it by ear and see what feels good. You guys can give me feedback on how today goes, and we'll make adjustments to the stream format as we go. But I'm also gonna be open to taking, you know, thoughts from you guys, and you know, like say we have a day where we play for an hour and a half and we hit virtually nothing, like nothing we want to change, nothing we want to mess with. Then I'll take requests from you guys and stuff we can work on. So I'm sure there are plenty of bugs that you guys consider high priority you'd love me to take a crack at. I'll probably on the stream stick to low-hanging fruit, things that I can fix like within the stream time, because there are some issues that I have been reported many times that are just too deep to fix in a stream time. They're like, for example, the warrior count issue that many of you have run into, where you're absolutely certain you have enough warriors. If you go to a local settlement, it'll tell you you have, you know, 20 warriors there, but then when you go to summon them with the flare gun, it'll tell you don't have enough. That bug requires a reworking of a deep system that underpins all of SS2. It's going to be a month of heavy work to fix that. There's a reason that has remained for so long. So there are certain bugs we won't tackle on the stream, but we'll see what we can do here. I am going to be using mods for this choo-choo, mostly add-on packs. So I have a lot of building plan add-ons, and I will probably be adding city plans. So I'm gonna have a settlement or two I build by hand, and then I'll probably switch the others to city plans. I'll probably take recommendations from you guys about whose city plan I should take into each new settlement we capture. I'm gonna do a home base of Starlight Drive-In this time, I think, because I think every other one of my playthroughs I home-based Sanctuary, so I'm getting a little shake-up today, so we're gonna make it to Starlight before we set up our home base. And then every other settlement I would probably take a request from you guys for city plan, like which city plan should I use. I'm gonna use all community city plans, no Rise of the Commonwealth or base game city plans. And my apologies if I fall behind on chat right now. I got a lot to get through on this inaugural episode of the playthrough, trying to talk about what I'm hoping to do, so you guys can kind of steer me in the right direction. So my character build, my plan is to not play on a super difficult version of the game. I'm mostly focused on SS2 bugs, so we don't need to spend, you know, 40 minutes of me reloading saves while I die to basic encounters, but I also don't need it to be baby mode, so we'll probably just play on normal, which is baby mode compared to most games. But we'll just play it on normal, so I don't need to worry about survival mechanics and all that. And then I don't then need to optimize my build or anything, so I'm probably just going to play a run and gun character just so that we can just run in and shotgun our way through the game. So that we're not spending a terrible amount of time on base game stuff. We're kind of getting right to SS2 content so we can deep dive and troubleshoot on the quest content and work on any of the systems issues and such. For that matter, so let's think about how we want this character to play out here. So I guess we're going to go with, we're going to need agility. We can go with a luck. We can go with luck. That's a fast way to level up. Let's see here. Shouldn't need, I don't think I'm going to go all the way down to 3. Let's see. We'll drop perception down. Endurance down. We don't need a ton. I guess I don't need to do a charisma build. I love doing charisma builds, but we will hold off on that. Hold on. Let me just get up a perk chart. I know I usually just wing this, but let me get up a perk chart real quick. Fallout 4, because I know there's just a few I'm going to want to grab for certain, so let me make sure I have the stats that I need to pull off the build stuff that my must-have build things so I don't get completely wrecked here. Okay, oh, this is just useless. I don't need the poster. It's too hard to read on a PC. Here we go. Okay, so let's see. Oh, that little squeaking noise is so obnoxious. All right, so I know I want. There's something I want in the intelligence tree. I need to have just medic. That's level rank 2, so no big deal. On intelligence, don't even need to go down to 3. Let's see here. I'm gonna want action boy, so that's at least agility 5. I think luck 5 for idiot savant, correct. Alright, let's see here, going through these real quick. Looking for must-have perks in kind of the early part of the tree for me. I guess if we're going, we don't need commando. What do we need? We need rifleman, right? Which tree is that in? Rifleman's probably in perception, if I had to guess. Perception 2. Man, all of these that I want are so low rank. It doesn't really matter where I put my perks, to be honest here. Let's see here. I guess we'll go to strength just so I can get the strong back and just so I can pack mule all the stuff we need to build settlements. Maybe go endurance just to keep our hit count up. Let me look at if there's anything I need in charisma, because I don't need, normally you'd go local leader if you're going to settlement builder, but that's really not necessary with this. But I'll go to charisma 3 for lone wanderer. It's me and dog meat forever. Kind of like scrapper for intelligence, but yeah, perception I probably need just for the for VATS and everything. All right, this isn't a beautiful build, but it'll work for what we're doing. It gets me a lot of the perks that I want. Okay, this will work. It's not perfect, but it'll do. All right, and finished. Exit the block. Here we go. All right, let me catch up to chat I missed here. Because I'm going to be focused a lot on this playthrough for a few minutes, just make sure you at KingGath tag me when you guys want me to respond to your message for now. I'll get back into real time with the chat again. I liked how we've switched gears with that over the last year. Of that, I've spent more time focusing on talking with you guys. But because I'm just trying to get all this information out and get us started. I know I'm going to get distracted by the game a lot. SCDs 3, is it a bug or feature that my HQ is overrun with infestations? I have security constantly swooping them. Supply doing, food store rotations still getting constantly attacked. So usually when that happens, it means that you are short on some resource. So I'm trying to remember who is in charge, who would be triggering infestations. It probably means that you are overusing food. So if you look at the meter on the left side of your screen, you probably are really low on, you probably have a red section on your food. That would be my guess. And that can be resolved. Oh, I think there's a weird lag in the sound. Let's see. No? Okay, that was just my imagination. So to solve that, what do you have to do to solve that? Make sure you have enough logistics people and enough space at HQ for logistics, so like storage rooms. That should reduce that. Hummeries, I'll keep quiet about my Chrome Nightingales. Yeah, because I don't know how to fix it. That's a task I know exactly who to give it to. They don't have time right now. Big Dave Gaming, do I need to complete the FO4 story before I complete SS2 story? No, but if you do, there are a lot of tie-ins to it. So there's a point in Chapter 3. I don't know how far you are. If you've met Salvador and you've done his stuff, a little bit after that, after you've done his stuff, there are a lot of tie-ins with the base game faction. So it's a good idea to, if you're going to complete the vanilla game and you want to see the tie-in stuff, you should do it then, at latest. You could do it before as well, and that would work. Syringer and landmines is my playthrough. Oh, man. Daniel Moore, if I have started a game and add SS2, will the settlements I've built be a problem? Nope. Should work just fine. Alright. Here we go. Alright, so we've got a 10 mil for now. No problem. Okay, first thing, the most important thing we got to find first are some patrolman sunglasses. Actually, I just realized, did they level us up? No, still level 1. Okay, I didn't know if they had scored a level. I guess you can't really level up in the vault, can you? Hey, Carbach. Sent the door. But yeah, I actually added to my description of this video, and I posted it yesterday, I didn't have it, but about half an hour ago, I added a link to a mod list. So if anybody is curious about that, or any of the mods there who happen to be on, actually, I don't think any of them are, you can link that, but you guys can find that in the description, link to the mod list. It's an Excel sheet with the name of each mod, kind of the broad category it's in, and a link on Nexus to download it. I think I got them all. I may be missing an F4C plugin or two. Like, I may have longer power lines installed still. Let me tell you my Enclave add-on now. So funny, the way I chose my first handful of add-ons as I went in reverse order on Nexus and just grabbed the first, like, 8 or 10 I found, and that was like, oh, those are all the classics. Cool. Like, it's a good start, and I will start adding more. When I was going through the list, I actually saw your Captain Cosmos, and I was like, oh, I don't have that CC because I'm not on Next Gen. I don't have the Captain Cosmos thing. I probably own it, just not on this PC. And I took all of my CC stuff and buried it in a subfolder because it annoys me to no end that it all launches when you start a new character. So I just gave up on playing with CC content. Yeah, cute mod list. Yeah, it's my baby mod list. It's my perfect for focusing on SS2 content. All right, we'll go ahead and talk about
Codsworth. As I live and breathe. Oh, it's really you.
Codsworth? You're still here. So, other people could still be alive too.
But of course I'm still here. Surely you don't think a little radiation could deter the pride of General Atomics International? But you seem the worse for wear. Best not let the wife see you in that state, hmm? Where is the missus, by the way?
She's in a better place.
Sir,
whoa, new face. Yeah, I finally got my King Geth avatar face in the game on my playthrough. I got a clean save now set up with it. I can always start with this.
Calm this dire mood. It's been ages since we've had a proper family activity. Checkers, or perhaps charades. Sean does so love that game.
Sean's been kidnapped. But I'm going to find him. I'm going to get my son back.
It's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Not.
Doesn't matter how long it's been.
Okay, we're gonna speed run through Codsworth.
What?
Sorry. Okay.
Food?
Yeah, give me some sugar bombs, please. We're gonna need those for later. All right. It should work on old gen as long as you have the files for Cosmos. Like I said, I think I do. I think I have all of the old CC content, like pre-next gen, all the ones that I bought. I bought a lot of this. I basically bought all the stuff that people were integrating into SS2. Actually, no, I think I bought all of the initial batch for Fallout 4 because I was testing to integrate it into Sim Settlements 1. Because I believe I had like the dog mods and stuff all integrated into Sim Settlements 1 back then. Because I mean, it's been so long since Creation Club.
Mr. King? Ah, here you are,
feels
sir.
good to have him say that.
I've been thinking, if something is amiss...
Codsworth, buddy. I don't think the Reds are going to be a
Wyatt,
problem.
I have an idea. Let's
When do we
search
get
the
3D
neighborhood
printable Jake
together.
Evans? So the funny thing you mentioned that there's I can't remember what they are. There's this miniatures website, and you can like print your own like hero things, like Hero Forge. I think, does that sound familiar to anybody? And on our Patreon server, somebody
right.
posted links of all of the
Lead the
main
way.
SS2 cast
To serve,
designed in Hero
sir.
Forge, which was pretty awesome. So you could have them printed.
Picking up hot, not this time. That it? Oh, fine then. I thought
Take him down,
everyone's
Concord.
still alive.
Appreciate you.
Nothing here but
If anything, one of the issue might be that I have so much food it was attracting pests. The shortage is definitely not the issue, though.
my senses are picking up.
Nancy,
movement
so
in
generally,
another house. Follow me.
all of the disasters are triggered by shortages generally. So it's like if you see any red on any of your meters, there's a larger chance of a disaster occurring. So it could be that if you've got no red and you're getting them constantly, it could definitely be a bug. Definitely could be a bug.
Howdy ho. Oh, I was just. What's all this then? Mr. King, your family.
Uh-huh. Thanks for trying.
You can't give up.
Thanks for your help, Codsworth.
Good luck, sir. I shall remain here and secure the home front.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, let's go raid some supplies on the bottom here, even though playing on normal difficulty, still don't need to run out of stuff. Oscar asks, why are we starting the game again? Are we doing anything special for this run? Check out the description. We are cleaning up SS2, so we're starting fresh with a focus on slow and steady through this playthrough to tighten up the mod, fix up little issues, clean up scenes, make things run a little smoother. So basically, there was a time that Sarik and I kind of walked through most of Chapter 1 and took notes on like all the things we wanted to do. And it's kind of like I'm going to go through and do a lot of that stuff now. Just things to like make things run a little smoother. Little tricks and stuff we've learned over the years where it was like, oh, there's a way easier way to do that that's more reliable. Things like that.
Don't think I can pick this.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't pick that. Always need aluminum. I don't remember why, but I'm always short on aluminum. Fish Hunter 2014, I'm running 110, 163, wondering if SS2 is compatible. It is definitely compatible. We build the mods still in the old creation kit so that it works with old gen Fallout 4 and next gen version. So you should be good. Same with Workshop Framework. I just don't mess around with the next gen stuff because it blocks a lot of people out from playing, but building with the older CK doesn't block anybody because obviously the next gen version has to be backward compatible. So it just makes more sense to me to keep it that way. All right, I feel like I'm missing. Oh yeah, that's right. Special stat here. Let's before I read it. What am I gonna want here? Probably another point of either perception or agility. I really like quick hands. We're pretty far from it though. What would we need? We would need 1, 2, 3 points. I can get one more from the. Well, actually, guys, where's the bobblehead for agility? Is it pretty far away? Is it anywhere near the? I know the perception you get pretty early. Where is the agility one? Because the perception, isn't the perception one in the museum? Don't you get that like immediately, which would be awesome to get me up to unlock demo expert. So you're doing bug fixes. Okay, we'll fix the bug with old Paul in the third quest. Well, we'll see what that bug may be. But yes, that is the goal, doing bug fixes. So if you guys know, like as we're coming up to quests, I'm gonna like slow myself down and like go to chat and be like, guys, are you aware of like certain dialogue options or things I can do that cause issues? So that way, you know, we can save scum and do that. So I'll be save scumming a lot during this as well. Julie Bob is way down south of their camp with the Norwegian ghouls. Oh yeah, I'm not getting that anytime soon. Okay, cool. It's my auto mode run. Every settlement in the Commonwealth is built up. Connect HQ is on auto. I took extra steps in my office meetings. Kept pausing to fight mole rats. Weird. Yeah, it sounds like you might have some bugginess going on. Coot says I'm on the delay CC stuff launching until you get close if it annoys you. Oh yeah, yeah. Did he end up adding support for everything to that? Like, I think he's been in mod retirement for years now. Because I know they added some new CC stuff to the next gen update, right? Did he ever come out of retirement and update it for that? Or did anybody else do that? Why does Concord address you as King in the game? Is that a bug in the game? No, my character's named King. Okay, cool. FMS Northern Star. Okay, yeah, I'm not getting that anytime soon. So, okay, so and Perception is in the museum, right? I'm not crazy? Or is it something else in the museum? So then I think it makes sense to... Because I don't need any of the... I'm not grabbing it. I mean, Sniper... Yeah, I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to get anything else in here. So then I guess I just pump points into Agility. Yeah, Perception Speed. Yeah, okay, cool. Then I just pump points into Agility for now whenever I need a stat. But Agility and Endurance probably. There we go. Give me those. Because I still like to use VATS often, but mostly I just want the action points for the sprinting. That's pretty much all I'm going to use it for. Oh, oh, oh. Alright, hold on. Now I gotta remember my controls. Again, this drives me nuts at all 3 games that I play on Rotate. Starfield, Skyrim, Fallout 4. Every one of them has a different layout for Bash. It seems weird, like the Bethesda can't make up their mind on that. You would think that they would just... It must be a different person gets control of the game who has a different feeling and puts their controls as the default, right? Whoever the game director is probably gets to make that call. And then, like, the last thing I like to do here is this. Uh-oh, am I gonna break my one bobby pin? Hey, we made it.
Nice.
Okay. Wait a second. Guys, did anybody else see that right there as an ASAM sensor? As I walked by, like, the front of that, I was just like, oh, there's an ASAM in there. And interested in Path of Exile 2? I mean, it looks amazing. Like, it looks really gorgeous. It looks like they're doing a lot of cool story stuff in that type of game. But I have 2 problems with Path of Exile. One is that I don't find myself enjoying ARPGs anymore. Like, trying to go back to Diablo type games, I just kind of like get bored, which is weird because I love Hades so much. And I liked the Splintered Fate, which is basically Ninja Turtles Hades, and they're basically ARPGs, but for whatever reason, it's just something about that gothic horror of Diablo. I just zone out when I play it. The other thing I have a problem with Path of Exile, those games in general, both the old one and the new one, is those gigantic skill trees. My eyes glaze over. I'm like, I can't do it. I don't have it in me.
Hey, boy, what are you doing out here
But
all by
looks
yourself?
Cool. I'll probably watch somebody play it.
You want to come with me, pal?
Okay, then. Let's stick together.
You've got Muriel and Neil permanently fighting in the lobby. I do love some of the jank that can accidentally come up in HQ when you put certain characters together. That is kind of funny. would not be surprised if you see ASAMs in your sleep. Oh, you aren't kidding, man. I see them all the time. Give me those caps. Mentats, yes please. Do I have WRK installed? Yeah, did I... Hold on, let me check. Hold on. Let's go ahead and get into... Wait, there's no stim pack over here. Yes. I got Workshop Plus installed. Do I have WRK installed? Yeah. Did I forget it on my mod list, or were you just checking? Hey, that's what we were waiting for. The null rat attack. Oh, you bugger. Almost had perfect one-shot, one kill across the board until that fifth one. Alright, hold on. I'm trying to catch up with chat here. Yeah, I think that every time I see the laser tripwire, since that's the SS1 ASAM model. Oh, yeah. I like that. I don't know who put that in there, if it was SAG or Business Vulture, but one of them put the laser tripwire in the museum, the Robco Museum, as an Easter egg for SS1. Zeta 404, would it be possible to make faction-specific settlers friendly again after you made peace with the remnants? Yeah, that's a good idea. That is the type of idea when we get closer to... That's the type of thing I want to do on this playthrough. So it was like all these like little like polish issues where it's like, this would make the mod feel more complete. That's the type of stuff we're trying to fix up on this run. So we're going to do it one chapter at a time. So we're on... It's going to be a while before we're up to that stuff, because that would be like chapter 3 stuff. Did you check the basement under that house? I checked the basement in the, like, the little back in sanctuary. Yeah, we checked that. I didn't check the little underground mole rattler over here, though. I don't ever find there's anything valuable enough to bother with. Not taking all them rads. Alright, hold on. Let's see here. Didn't I just get a helmet? Yeah. Her hat. Nice. Alright, let's quick snap off that idiot savant for that power leveling. What is the Will Thompson? What is the latest version of SS2? Been playing Skyrim and it's all your Bard's College and expansion and East Empire expansion. Love the creations your team's made. Awesome, thank you. Glad you enjoyed them. Current version of SS2 is 3.4.3, which was released right before Christmas. Corey Ham, what's your favorite weapon in Fallout 4? Combat shotgun. Full stop. Love me some shotguns. I like shotguns and grenades because I don't have to worry about aiming. It just... I can just point in a general direction and I get them.
On the balcony! I've got a group of settlers inside! The raiders are almost through the door! Grab that laser musket and help us! Please!
Okay, so one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm doing things out of order intentionally because I have played through the sequence with Jake here a million times. I'm very happy with it. I already know that. But I have very rarely played the bypass. Clear the museum first, and then go talk to Jake. So we're going to test that today. And we already leveled up again. Alright, what is our second one? I'm probably going to grab Medic. I can also see an argument for grabbing Rifleman right now. But I feel like the 20% is not much, and I'm not even going to be using a rifle constantly yet, but stim packs I will be spamming like it's my job, so. Oh, I guess I should start grabbing all this Raider armor, huh? I'm that low level still. And we'll grab a double barrel. Alright, let's load up. With the right arm. We can also go ahead and steal all of Jake's ASAMs while we're here. Favorite tip I've picked up for Red Rocket, you can claim the workbench before talking to Dogmate, build 2 turrets using local trigger the mole rats and stand on the car. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, if I was playing a harder difficulty, I might do that, but I can just pop everything off on easy mode here. So you like in-your-face approach. I have come to like the in-your-face approach. I generally, like, first time I play a Bethesda game, I do Stealth Archer. It's just the way. I actually didn't for Starfield, though. I think it's because the stealth... Because I didn't have access to the stealth meter right away, and I didn't know that it was locked behind a perk, I was just like, oh, stealth in this game is not really a thing. Like, it didn't seem to work. So I was like, oh, cool. I'm just not going to bother with the stealth perk. Doesn't seem like it's meant to be in this game. It turned out that was a good call, because everybody I talked to who's tried to play stealth said stealth sucks in Starfield. Does that... Anybody... Do you guys agree with that? Is that accurate? Box of ASAMs. Jake, there were raiders in town. What did you expect? Of course the ASAMs would be gone. Now, the first level of polish that we at one point had on our list and I removed was these should not respawn. But then we decided, you know what? It's fun that they do to get extra ones. And so much else in the base game does already, so it's like we don't have to go with realism, we just have to go with fits into the base game, right? So that has been long removed from the list of let's just leave it there. So this is one thing I could see. So and I actually think it already happens. This is like a level of polish I didn't even know about, and that came about just talking to Sir Rick about it. Is I think him and Business Vulture came up with the idea of like, oh, what if Jake used an ASAM to build himself a building here? And I believe as you go through the quest, it levels up in a sense. It's a fake one, right? You can't interact with it, but I should actually have them make it really nice at level 3, and then we turn this into a building plan. That would actually be kind of fun. Jake's makeshift hut. Well, Thompson, do you have any more mod projects for Skyrim or more focused on Fallout 4 updates? We have one in development for Starfield right now, and then we're likely pivoting back to Skyrim throughout most of 2025, but we're still feeling it out. We also have a lot of SS2 patching to do, which is part of why we're playing today. But gonna be a busy year. Oscar Fry, is there a possible problem with the Jake Star Path? A friend of mine tried your mod. Jake was teleporting from Sanctuary Hills to Concord and back to Sanctuary Hills before reaching Preston. Oh, no, I'm not aware of anything like that. Okay, and we have looted sufficiently. Oh, wait. Does this guy got anything for us? I think we already got a raider chest piece, right? We got a leather chest piece. Well, it's not showing up as the little plus, so we'll call it good enough. Okay, let us drop a save here. So yeah, this first day is gonna be a little slow before we're getting into a lot of SS2 stuff. It's all right, no rush. All right, let's go kill some raiders. You doing any quest mods or DLC this playthrough? Very unlikely, very unlikely. I mean, if I could definitely like. I might take a random Wednesday and play a mod or something if something comes out that I'm intrigued by or that a friend made. But otherwise, focus is on getting into the nitty-gritty on SS2 and actually fixing it. So you'll see like a direct line between what we look at and the patches. And I know you guys probably already noticed that from my previous playthroughs. I would often... before I even went to bed, usually after a stream, I would be like, go in and quickly fix any of the issues I knew were easy to fix. But now we're gonna fix a lot of these like live on camera. But I'm actually hoping that some of you guys point me out to things that just I didn't know about, or that weren't under the radar, or maybe other people on the team have reported and they just never came across to me as something that was a showstopper, so it got kind of just kept getting kicked down the road for later. Alright, let's get up our favorites here. I really love the early part of any Bethesda game a lot. Oh, I got 2 of these. Like this time where you gotta just take anything because you're so short on loot. Okay, stays has a likeness of 2, so cons. Likeness 3. Stay. Is this it? ST. Does that match 3 letters with cons? No. No.
That's it.
There it is. This. And I think there's usually some. There it is, duct tape. Do you voice Alex Powell? I do not. I try to avoid putting my voice in the mod. I have been asked to do it many times, and I always push back at that. It feels too much like if I heard Todd Howard voicing a character, it would pull me out of it because I just so strongly associate him with the development of the mod. Like, I know that, like, he probably, I mean, of the game, he probably does 0 actual dev work on any of the modern games, like on Starfield or Fallout 4, but I still, like, associate him with closely with that. He represents the devs.
Hold out for the others like we're supposed to.
Alright, let's see if I can get lucky with this.
Somebody's out there shooting the place up. I ain't sitting around waiting to die.
I swear to God, if you move for that exit, I'll gut you myself. Shut your mouth, or we'll never get the drop on this guy. Over here!
One of these days, I'm gonna get lucky with the physics. And that thing will bop over there like it's supposed to and kill them. Any interest in the heavily rumored Oblivion remaster is expected to be announced this month's Xbox event? Yeah, if Bethesda does a remaster, I'll give it a go. I'm more interested in the Sky Oblivion though, because the last time I tried to play Oblivion, like as it was released on, I don't know if I tried it on PC or Xbox last. I felt like it was unplayable just because of the way the bows work, where I'm just like, no, they need to work to how they do in Skyrim. I can't play like this. It just felt, the controls just felt so janky. I couldn't get into it.
Every last one of you.
Come on, man. They ain't going nowhere. We got other shit to deal with.
You hear that? I gotta go take a little walk, but I'll be back, and you're dead.
Oh. Oops, wrong button again.
What? Come on.
Okay, keep up with the loot in here.
Man, I don't know who
Dave
you
said
are.
you have some
but your
experience. One
comments
problem with
impeccable.
Salvador. In order where he always walks
Preston
the wrong
Garvey,
way in chapter and gets stuck in
Commonwealth Minute.
trees.
Damn it.
First mission with him. Interesting. Are you playing? What platform are you on? PC or Xbox? A fast travel felon. Wait, somehow he finds his way to the bridge. The bug is confusing. Yeah, it is confusing because I've played that on camera several times without running into that, but.
Maybe?
You hear what I said?
Glad to help.
Well, if that's true, we could use some more goodwill. As you can see,
Please, go on.
a month
Sorry.
God damn it.
One good idea can make all the difference.
Sorry, Preston.
Sturgis.
There's a crashed vertibird up on the roof. Old school. Pre-war.
Uh-huh.
Well, looks like one of its passengers left behind a seriously sweet goodie. We're talking a full suit of cherry T-45 power armor. Military issue.
I like it.
Yeah, I thought you might. Protection with an added bonus.
Something funny about
Get the suit. You
Sturgis
can rip
talking-
the minigun
talking
right off the
with,
vertibird. Do that.
my character's
and
face.
those
'Cause
raiders
those of
get
you who
an
don't know,
express ticket
my
to hell.
avatar is
You
the
dig?
concept art version of Sturgis, which is what this character design is. It was somebody put this out like in the first few months of Fallout 4 being around. Somebody put out a mod that changes a lot of NPCs to have their concept art face.
Minigun. Now we're talking.
And I took
I
the
know,
Sturgis one
right?
and ripped it and put it on my character.
Only there's one hitch. The suit's out of juice. Probably been dry. It can be powered up again.
I'll help if I can.
But we can't... Look.
Actually, I already grabbed the fusion core.
Well, all right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So let's go ahead and
Yes.
that.
Dog
Ignore all
meat
you guys.
truck.
Excellent.
I did find it.
I'll take
Careful,
that.
kid. There's
We need help, and we get a vault dweller?
coming.
What are you going to do in that stupid jumpsuit? Bleed to death?
It's angry.
Exactly what I'm going to do. It's fine, Marcy. It'll be okay. Will Thompson, my humble opinion, the only thing I would add in responding to the ASIM sensors at Jake's hardware store, possibly make an option for hardcore players. So that's so there's certain like things that I can't easily make an option without just making a giant mess of things. Also without a lot of people will say that our options menu is already too cluttered and that we need to greatly reduce it or restructure it. So that's the type of thing where I would love to see somebody who wants that just make a patch for it. Just basically uncheck the respawns flag on those objects and put it out as a patch mod. Put it as an ESL patch. That to me would make a lot of sense. Alexander would also love a King Gath radio DJ. Yeah, that's the one spot where people have almost convinced me to do it. Because I feel like the DJs kind of feel immersion breaking anyway. If you can't find them, right, they're not really like, you know, when they're the character in universe, that is really awesome, but we would not be doing that. We'd not be putting a KG character in game. Daisy Jess PC. Hold on, let me remember what your issue was. Scroll back up. With the Art War, interesting. Are you running a pretty healthy load order or small? Like, are you like? And I consider a small load order like sub 50 is great. That's like where I could recreate it. If it's more than that, there's just very little chance. Definitely can't load the save without your mod load order then. Turn to the Executioner perk when? Yeah, I don't know if that will fit in the reimagining of Conqueror that we've been kind of poking around with lately. Might have to be its own little micro mod. Cities, I will just say yes to your question, but I won't tell you which. Other people have probably looked this up already. Could spoil it for you if they want to. Will Thompson, the mod that gives the Sturgis artwork of the NPCs, I believe it's called Concept Art NPCs, something like that. Search for Concept Art, you'll find it, and it does it to the companions and like a dozen other random NPCs in the game, and there's variations of it. Like some of them require some other like face mods or hair mods and such to do. Some of them will only touch companions. Some will do companions plus.
Up here.
Plus extra NPCs or vice versa. They have a lot of options on the page. Oh, look at those physics. So good.
Found you.
Oh man, it's weird not having Jake yelling up to us to
Why don't you get down here? Show me that fancy gun up close.
all right,
Not
buddy.
a lot of people could get past my boys. Come on, I've got places to be.
Crystal just seems extra dumb on easier difficulties. Dog meat! Sorry, boy. I'm gonna get wrecked here if I don't ignore you. Oh god, he can climb on cars. Didn't know that. Did not know that. Actually, it would be pretty awesome if Deathclaw could just pick up the car and send it.
Come on, Tin Man.
Ignore me. Fight the Deathclaw. Oh. No, fight the Raiders. There's so many of them. They want to play with you. This is something where it would be cool to see Bethesda solve, would be letting their enemies, like having the enemies and stuff to enter most places so that you couldn't just cheese them. Success! City 3, nope, that's the perfect answer. Thank you. I was hoping that had been considered. Well, now it's time to slaughter for a slaughter save file. I don't know what I don't remember what you were responding to. I assume the murder perk. That's how you're talking about. How's the companion controller coming? Companion thing is mostly done. There are some bugs I gotta fix in it, but I'm basically like put a pin in it until Eric has a little more free time to do some more icons for it. And then that'll become my focus again. But I got caught up in end of year stuff, so any of you who own a business knows the pain of preparing for tax season at the end of year. It's just a lot of tracking down receipts and paperwork, because I don't like having to deal with that stuff like in April, right at the end. I prefer to get it done before the end of the year, because if we wait till April, you got to pay a bunch of penalties. So if you've made a mistake, so I kind of have to get all my taxes sorted out early, and it has been just weeks of paperwork and such, so I haven't had as much time as I'd like to dedicate to modding. Okay, I think we are ready to go grab Preston and Co. I always thought the Deathclaw needed a reach-in door window animation. Yeah, something to just make it so that you can't just run away. I think that's why they've started giving most of their melee characters some sort of ranged attack, right? You've got like the Deathclaws, I think, can like throw dirt at you, and the what are the big super mutant, the behemoths can like throw rocks at you because it's a little harder to cheese them.
That was a pretty amazing display. I'm just glad you're on our side.
The feeling's mutual.
You can never have too many.
Dave, so you guys any thoughts on the Salvador bug? My only guess would be there's just something messing with the nav mesh path that we use. So if you've got some other mod that adds or messes with anything over in that area, that's the only thing that comes to mind.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Well, since
Mono items you don't loot.
maybe you'll come to Sanctuary with us.
All right, Garvey.
I'm playing on easy mode, man. I don't need most of the stuff.
Please, tell me.
I tend to
You're a man.
my grab is ammo, caps, stim packs, and meds. Like basically stuff that weighs 0, and then like any armor upgrades I see, weapons I know I will actually use. And then junk, and only generally junk that I know is rare. That's about it. Everything else I just kind of ignore, because otherwise I would. If I'm playing by myself, I will grab literally everything. I will get into the salvage beacon stuff and go nuts with it. But I'm trying to keep it brief for.
I knew it.
The looting, my
Please tell me
looting
where he is.
instincts.
I need to find my son.
I gotta keep him under control.
Can't see him. And even I don't need
some of
the
the
sight
heaven and
to
synth
tell
component.
you
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you should start looking. The great green jewel of
What companion controller? I am
Please.
So I'm working on a, it's not, I wouldn't even call it a companion controller. It's more like a companion
Look, kid,
status
I'm
thing. So
tired.
there's already a mod, there's a couple
Maybe
mods
you
actually that
can do
do
some chems
companion
later.
status where you can see
The site
the
will
health of
paint
your
a clearer
companions.
picture.
And there's one of them that has
We talked
portraits.
about this.
And I always thought it would be
gonna
really
kill
cool
you.
to have that
Preston.
feature
We're
for
all
when you're
gonna
doing
die
assaults, where you could
eventually.
see
We're gonna
which of
need
your
the
people are
site.
injured, and
And our
then
new friend
if
here,
you wanted
he's gonna
to
need
track
it
them down
too.
and heal them,
Now
you
let's
could.
get going.
Or at least you would have an
Sanctuary
idea of like who in your
All right, folks.
squad was down.
Thanks to our friend here.
And so
it's
I've started
safe to
making a
move
mod
out.
like that, and
We're
it's
heading for
based
that
on the
place
code
Mama
from
Murphy knows
Companion
about.
Status HUD,
Sanctuary.
and using
far.
and
She knows about
Erica
it.
Ember,
You
who
mean
does a
she had
lot
one
of
her visions
animatics
while she
of
was
stuff
stoned out of her
for
gourd. And now you want us to just head out on
live
another
streams
wild
we've done
goose
and
chase based
such,
on no
and
better
has done a
plan
lot
than
of
Mama Murphy saw
Vault
it?
Boy perks. She's done them for
Everybody just
some of
take
our
it
charity
easy.
events,
We're all in this
and I know
together,
she's done them. I think
right?
she did them
So,
for
Marcy,
some other people's
got
mods.
a better idea of what we should do next?
She did a whole series of icons
Anybody?
in the Vault Boy style
Well, then,
of a lot of our
Sanctuary
characters
it is.
for that system.
Let's just
And
hope
so I've
it
been
lives
working
up
on a
to
mod
its
to
name.
get that all
Come on, June,
integrated
it's
and
time
out.
to
And
go.
just it's most of the way there. I'd say it's like 90% done. So I was hoping to release it before Christmas as part of Merry Modding Days, but it just wasn't quite ready. Don't the death claws just run away if you cannot reach you until you get out? Sometimes, but I mean they stay. You saw how, like, I don't know if you saw how I killed him there, but he kind of just hung out in the doorway for 7 seconds, and I just unloaded on him during that. So I didn't I could cheese him pretty easily, and then you just run out, get his attention again, and repeat. So it's pretty easy to cheese him. I found out I'm not the only one having this problem. It's on the forums. Yeah, if it's on the forums and if you got anybody like Too Large Pepperoni or Yagi or anybody with like a staff tag or moderator tag, it's very likely they've already reported it on my tracker. And so anytime I sit down to work on a bug fix patch, I go to the tracker and just start knocking issues down. So it'll come up eventually, but alternatively, if we haven't fixed it by then. And the other thing, and if they haven't reported it, it means that they weren't able to reproduce, which means it's likely a mod conflict. So just because other people have it doesn't necessarily mean it's a problem in the mod. It could be a conflict, right? If there's a popular mod out there or even an unpopular mod out there, and those of you guys who are running into it have that mod that's causing the issue, then we will never be able to fix it, right? It could just be a case of there needs to be a patch made or the other mod needs to undo its edit. This is why I said nav mesh issue, because that's really hard to figure out, because you wouldn't assume that that's a problem with either mod, right? It just doesn't, generally by itself is no problem, so the mod author wouldn't think of a problem. But the best rule of thumb for mod authors is don't edit the nav mesh in the base game, because you then create problems for other mods. That's the rule we try to follow, but I know not everybody knows about that, because it's not like if you were to just learn from Bethesda tutorials, they don't make it clear that, hey, you shouldn't mess with that. You literally made an entire mod to get sellers doing looting for you. That's the best excuse anyone has. It's true. It's true. I actually have, there's a feature in Conqueror. Alright, we're not going to join them in Sanctuary right now. We might go do that later to get some more settlers. Alright, now we're going to head to Starlight so we can set up our home base for Jake. That just makes me think I'm about to get attacked. On the getting sellers doing the looting for you. So in Conqueror, for those of you who haven't played it, there is a feature we had in there called personal guards, where you could basically take some of your soldiers and be like, hey, follow me, and they'd become pseudo companions where they would just kind of follow you around and help you in combat. And a secondary benefit of them is they would loot certain items, so you would not have to loot, and then you could just, you know, periodically go talk to your personal guards and have them hand over anything they grabbed that you really wanted, which is a feature I would like to have back at some point. It's basically like a immersive friendly auto loot mod. I know there's a couple of those out there. I'm probably totally going the wrong way. I just know it's just generally down here. It's generally down in this area. Very hard to see with the old Radstorm. It's rare to get a Radstorm this early in the game. What are we, level 4? Alright, here's the diner.
We had a deal, Trudy.
So we're heading in the right direction.
Hand over the goods. You owe us.
I ain't giving you poison shilling chem pushers anything. Do you know what that junk has done to my boy?
We bought the... It's over. For now.
Problem solved. Aw, they didn't have any jets.
I can't wait to see the crows feeding on that scumbag. Here, this is for you. Now, if you ever need to trade, my shop's open.
Let's see what you have.
A little bit.
Sure.
Alright, what can I sell her here? You can have this thing. And those. And how about those? Alright, bye Trudy. Thanks for doing business. Okay, so I think it's due south from here, right? To get to Starlight. Alright, we always attract friends when we do this. Come on, we don't have that much further to go. Let's abandon our power armor over here. Modding and patching the eternal game of whack-a-mole, isn't it? Indeed. Well, especially because we keep adding more features, so that just makes we make it worse for ourselves. We designed the mod so we don't have to do a lot of patching, though. So, like, we have rules on the team of we're not allowed to edit any vanilla records. So then, to me, that puts the onus of patching more on the other mod authors, because it's like, hey, if you're the one who's editing vanilla stuff, so. But also just courtesy, being like, we're the big giant fat mod with a whole bunch of people around it, so like it's hard enough for people to get into modding without them having to worry about stepping on the toes of other big popular mods. So it's kind of just being nice to other mod authors too, to do it that way. So we don't do a lot of patching for what do you call it? Compatibility issues. But we do have to patch bug fixes out a lot. Alright. Apparently I'm not going to get this novice terminal here. But yeah, one of my goals that I started with in November was to slow down on new features for a while and try and get some of our backlog of bug fixes in. So we have no major active development on SS2 undergoing right now. It is all just find and fix bugs is the current goal. All right, so it's not going to be that, not going to be that, not going to be that. Let's see. All right, you know what? Giving up. Got stuff to do. Oh, there's Starlight driving. I was going the wrong direction. It was north from Drumlin Diner. All right, we're about to. You know what? We'll go drop off the power armor at Trudy's. She can have it for now. Eric Marshall, not sure if you saw the bug board. Any thoughts on not being able to do medical services on the MC and settlements? Quick button like R, not an option. Can only heal them by trades only. Oh, that's odd. Could be a case of too many interaction. options. So if you have multiple mods that inject new options onto NPCs, the game will only support exactly one alternate or exactly 3. Any in between. So if you have, I'm sorry, exactly 3, because then it can show the dialogue wheel. But if you have 2 options or more than 3, then it shows like one broken one instead, and none of them work. It's just a weird Fallout 4 problem. So if you see some alternate activation and it just doesn't do anything, that is likely what you're running into. Alright, here we go. Let's abandon this, because this walking speed ain't working for me.
Well, hey there, pup.
Since you're playing a new clan save, curious to see what glitches show up. Yeah, it's always exciting to see that, because a lot of times, like my other playthrough that we were doing, that playthrough that I just finished 2 weeks ago was, or was it just a week ago? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, because Christmas I did not stream. That save was literally years old, so I went through a whole bunch of patches, so it probably had a lot of like just corruption just from that. Like, just there's a lot of, you know, you play a save over and over again and try different versions, and I'm playing alpha builds, and Lord knows what sort of tech debt I built up in that save file. So it will be very interesting to see from this fresh playthrough to see what the current state of things is in. Alright, oh yeah, that's right, I gotta clear the mole rats. Oh, I think I heard them. There they are. There's a, yep. And then the second kind of landmine. Oh, yeah, that one was. We had to take out this radio. Stream killer right there. Did we get them all? I doubt it. Doesn't it usually give you like a little prompt like you can now claim the workshop or something? Alright, hold on a second. Let's go just try it again. Maybe I did know something you mentioned. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Alright, well, let's get these barrels out of here. We are using Workshop Plus, so we got some cheater mode while we're building available. Okay. And then we'll clean up these landmines before one of our idiot settlers walks across them. Better be the idiot me that does it. There's the second one, right? Or just that one? Oh, just the one. Okay. Okay. Alright, let us call Jakey Boy. And actually, I'm going to put a save down before we do, so that way... So if you guys know of any like oddities in the first encounter with Jake, leading up to before he tells you about the museum, let me know, and we will try and replicate right now. All right, let's do a save. So save. I guess I got to start this with. Let's see. We'll call it CLP for clean up LP, and day 1 pre Jake. Alright, let's see here. Let's see, SS3. One thing I wanted to ask, which is a base game issue that affects SS2? Is there a way to stop robots you build and send to HQ while trying to become your companion as you pass? There might be. That would probably get pretty complicated. That might be better off as its own like editing mod, and just like a full-on patch for a separate patch. Probably be a better way to fix that than something in the base mod. Gotta use Gav's insane megadome for a city plan here. I'm actually gonna, this is gonna be my one place I build manually. I need to have somewhere to build manually so we can test out plots. I'm probably gonna need a couple of settlements I build manually just for the sake of testing things, right? Just to be like, hey, there's an issue with building plan X or plot X. It's easier to do that in a hand-built settlement. Same with like network issues. Those can be tricky to troubleshoot in a city plan. So I am going to use a lot of city plans, just not in this initial settlement. This is going to be the one I want to start with solo. Okay. Let's build ourselves some stuff if we've got the resources. There might be, I'm either going to cheat here or we're going to run over to another settlement to get some stuff. Oh, you know what I totally forgot to grab? And we're going to fast travel for? The magazine. Not that you need it. You do not need this magazine. The rumor is you need this magazine to trigger Jake. That is not true. It's been talked about being an option. But we ended up not using that as the trigger because some people would have, when we released SS2, some folks would have already moved to the workbench and they wouldn't be able to find the magazine. So we didn't want that to be the trigger.
There we go.
Instead, it's just kind of to speed things along. It gives you the exact resources you need to build the radio beacon so you can quickly get Jake triggered. The actual trigger is just the first time a radio beacon is detected at one of your settlements. So if you came into a save that already had operating settlements, he will show up at one of those. And otherwise, he will show up the first time you build one, like he's going to do for us now. And actually, let's go ahead and override that save. Here we go. JC Ward doesn't, JC1 Ward doesn't Workshop Plus have a feature that interferes with alternate medic button. It does, but SS2 detects Workshop Plus is installed and turns off that option, I believe. At least that's what I did at one point. I don't know, maybe it's not working now. But I remember coding that in at some point. Alright, rubber. We just need to find a tire. There's always tires laying around. Come on, find me a tire here. Are we going to make a lie? Is this the one settlement in all Fallout 4 that doesn't have a stack of tires laying around? Killing me, Starlight driving. Oh, wait. Here we go. Perfect. Alright, let's go get ourselves a little generator. Actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and build this way up high. Hopefully we won't have to hear the thing. And it makes sense for this to be up here anyway. Maximum height. Don't worry about how we actually reach it. Oh, wait. I don't have any game sound. Do you guys? The game sound broke. So let's, and that means it's my capture card. So give me a second. I'll reboot that. No game sound just stopped. Okay, give it a second. It's gonna stop my, you guys are just gonna see probably nothing for a moment here. So you might, Eric, what you can try is if you go into the, oh, I can't show you. I can't show you yet. Hold on a second. Let me bring up the stream again. You guys can still hear me, right? It's just the video footage just ended. Later, Dave. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. But there's an option in the MCM menu for Workshop Plus. You can turn off the alternate activation. Okay, here we go. Alright, I've got sound again. How about you guys? Oh, I think it died again. It started and then immediately died. Oh, there it goes again. Oh, and then it died again. My, I think my Streamlabs may need an update. It's being very odd. It's not being responsive. Sound for a moment. Off again. Yeah, I'll show you as soon as we get the stream video fixed. My Streamlabs is really freezing up on this. Maybe this will be the year I finally replace all the hardware I've been dragging my feet. I have so much to replace. That's why I've been dragging my feet on. It's like my capture... Because I don't know what exactly is at fault. It's some combination of my capture card, my audio interface. Lord knows what else. Okay, I got sound again. Nope, now it's off again. All right, hold on. Let me close this window. Let's see if it comes back in a second. Okay, I think it came back. We get lots of accidental KG ASMR. Don't you worry, Big Shot. If you need a little relaxation, got you covered. All right, can you guys hear it now? Is it good? Okay. All right, let's show Eric where this might be fixed. So if you go into, I assume you have MCM. If not, you can find this in the holotape, which you can craft at a workbench. But if you go under, is it under options? I believe it's under, it might be under advanced. Oh no, here it is. So right down here under options, settler activation. If you turn that off, that will eliminate the alternate activation option that Workshop Plus adds. And that will hopefully solve your issue for you. Nick Carter, many players still downloading RTZ these days. Have you considered adding a sticky post in the comment section that says most plans will not auto-upgrade? Well, I'm not aware that that's an issue, because in my save that I've used them in, they do auto. A lot of all the ones that I've used have auto-upgraded, so I haven't put any prompts in because there's still a lot of unknowns with ROTC from my perspective. I don't know what the actual, you know, I'd like to have specifics with the issues, so. Alright, let's get this loaded up, and we should have Jake appear right away around the corner. So I believe the Starlight spawn point, it's actually one of my favorite spawn points. It's actually one of the ones that feels like it's just out of the city, it's just out of your line of sight. It's like right over here somewhere. So the NPCs kind of spawn and wander down this road and make their way in. Oh! I just saw a laser over my shoulder, so that was probably Jake. Yep, there he is. But a lot of the settlements like don't have a great place that makes sense, or that a lot of the settlements, their spawn point is like in the middle of the build area still. It's a lot like how the edges where the vanilla attacks happen. It feels nonsensical. This is one of the better positions, in my opinion, for where the settlers appear. I like it.
Hey! Hello there! If I'm not mistaken, you're the fella I've been looking for.
Can I help you?
I heard your radio broadcast. Sounded as if you were starting some kind of settlement. Is that about the right of it?
You looking for a new place to settle?
Not me, no. But I have something that might help you with those that are. Here, catch.
Oh, the animation is broken again. Oh, no, wait. I think it happens after this. Hold on. Let's see.
It's called an ASAM
Hey,
sensor.
it is working. I've got my gun out.
If you're gonna be building settlements, these things are what you'll want to use.
I don't have time to put my gun away here.
Okay. Care to elaborate?
I think a demonstration is in order. Place that ASAM down on the ground somewhere. Go ahead. Any old spot will do.
Oh, and we're triggering some add-on pack building plans that we've just unlocked here. Are we going to get any more unlocks? Okay, let's go ahead and do our demonstration here. Richard, no thank you. Yeah, my face is the concept art version of Sturgis, which I think, without the patrolman sunglasses, is just only a mother could love, right? All right, let's start with where do we want? You know what? I need to shake things up. I always end up doing the exact same thing in this place. It ends up being like residences in a circle around here, and then kind of commercial clustered over here, industrial in the back. I already changed this up. Why don't I do... I've seen some people do like where they build a almost like a crate tower like up against this, where it's almost like they're building up vertically from here. That could be kind of fun. So we'll start up against the screen here.
Congratulations! You've made the smart move of choosing
Okay.
Rocket Brand.
So I don't know if you guys caught that. You hear the falling. So Sim Settlements was not designed, and it never will be. I don't design a lot of the... We can't assume... All right, let me think how to describe this. So we have to assume when we're designing out quests and stuff that people are playing with a vanilla load order, right? Because we have no way to accommodate every combination of mods people are playing with. Not unless we, take this out on an infinite timeline. Like we want to turn this into a 30-year project, sure. But even then, people will constantly come up with new mods because they play these games forever. And so we didn't accommodate for the player flying in the sky when they're doing quest stuff. So a lot of times we have a shortcut script we use, which is move NPC behind player, and it just moves a quest NPC a little bit behind the player because we know that will be out of their line of sight. And so Jake got moved behind me there, and he fell down. Fortunately, didn't land far enough to break his legs. Then we would have heard a ugh.
ASAM sensors for your city planning needs. Unlike other less reliable multi-purpose sensors, Rotko brand ASAM sensors offer the level of versatility and connectability that you deserve. Rotko brand ASAM sensors, America's #1 sensor solution. in partnership with Voltec.
Nicely done. Don't mind the ASAM, it's just scanning the area for materials.
Wait, whoa, what just happened there? Did you see that smoke just appear? What is going on here? Is it broken?
Now for this next part, I'm gonna pretend to be a settler who's come to work for you. So just play along, alright? Show them.
Alright, well, I think we found our first unexpected bug. Combat starts and Jake just wanders off to Lord knows where. Where is he going? Okay, well this is the type of stuff we want to see, right? Where is Jake going? Alright, first bug of the night. This is great. Perfect timing, because this is about... So the goal for this stream is going to be around like the halfway mark, so around 10:30 is that we'll be shifting gears to the CK to solve these mysteries. So, perfect. Day one, bug one. This is going to be Jake wanders off. Okay, so... Now I have, hopefully I have installed, give me a second, let me see if I have it. I need to check if I have, so I have this utility mod that I maintain. It's just I give it out to a handful of people, it's not released publicly. And it basically just adds a bunch of sudo console commands. I'm just trying to make sure I have that enabled. And it looks like I do not. So, oh yes I do. Kingath utilities. Okay, cool. So I'm going to use some console commands that don't exist generally. These are just ones that I rate. They're really scrappy, and the reason I don't release them is because I don't want to support them. These are not mods I'm looking to support. These are just like little things I've written for myself that are just quick and easy, just to speed up some troubleshooting. So no, I will not release this as a mod. This is just for my fixing of my type of bugs. So what I want to do here is I'm going to use this little made-up command, which will tell me what AI package he's using right now. So we can kind of get an idea of like what is it that his captured his imagination and sent him wandering off to Lord knows where. So let's go to Fallout 4, logs, script, user. There should be a KG login here. Here we go, KG utilities. Okay, so this is what, I'm going to bring this over to another screen so you guys can see it. Okay, so this right here shows me, so this is all this log does, is it just traces out, okay, this actor that I've selected is using this package. So now we can look up what is this package in the CK and figure out what the hell is going on. Why is he doing this, which we will do in just a moment. But first thing I want to test, I want to do some basic testing here of like, since we have that save we can roll back to, is what happens if I just go talk to him again?
Excuse me.
All right, then. Now for this next part, I'm gonna pretend to be a settler who's come to work for you. So just play along, all right?
And then we'll see how this handles it.
Boy,
maybe it can
I
recover.
sure am glad I found this settlement to live in. But oh no, there are no homes available. And I don't know how to build one myself. I guess I'll just have to rely on whoever runs this place to build a home for me.
Don't sell yourself short.
You're right. If only I had a little guidance, I could probably build something myself. But wait, what is this? Why, it's an ASAM! Just the thing I need!
What do you need it for?
That is a great question. You see, with an ASAM, there's no barrier for entry when it comes to building something. All I'd need to do is follow the step-by-step instructions provided by the ASAM. Here, let me show you.
Okay, let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to find his way back? Alright, so we're going to trace his package again. And this time... Alright, now he's using a different package, and I can tell from that, this 9 here, you see how it matches Jake's? It means that this is an SS2 package. So he's using an AI package we've given him. Up here, this one is a default package, so this is something in the base game. Uh-oh. Like we lost sound again. Nope, there it goes. What you got, buddy? Now, one of the most painful things of troubleshooting packages, AI packages in a Bethesda game, is we don't get any debug output beyond that. We can find out that they're in an AI package or not, that's it. Bethesda likely has all sorts of advanced tools that let them see, you know, what path the NPC is trying to go to and like what's blocking it and all sorts of stuff, but we don't have that luxury. So so we basically hit a brick wall here. Like a new player would run into this and they would be screwed. They would wouldn't know what to do. They would probably roll it back, go kill the blood bugs first, but that's kind of lame, right? It's kind of lame that a blood bug, that kind of encounter can happen all the time. More so if you've got a lot of mods installed, and that just kind of ended this this playthrough effectively, and they have to roll back. So we're gonna pop over to the CK. So now we're gonna figure out this flow. Give me a moment while I get us set up on the other PC. Now I already preloaded Fallout 4 and everything on it. The creation kit is already loaded, so I can get to this very quickly. But I have to figure out I did not have a chance to figure out the Streamlabs stuff because I would have needed to set up a dummy stream and get some of you guys to tune in, or get somebody to tune in and watch me fiddle with it. Yeah, there's a settler coming to derail it, exactly. That settler's likely going to trigger that conversation of like, hey, I'm new around here. Xeno Armor, Happy New Year to you as well. Welcome to the stream. Oops, that was coffee cup smashing into the thing. Okay, give me a second to try and figure out okay, I need to go to studio mode so I don't accidentally show you guys a bunch of personal data. Alright, let me make sure that I've got all of my personal files closed here. Believe I did that before the stream, but just to be sure. Okay, looks pretty good. So now let's try this thing here. Okay, this doesn't have, I don't know that this has my mic, so that's not going to help. Okay, this looks like it's got my mic. It looks like it's showing my desktop, so this might be our winner. Okay, guys, so I'm going to switch you guys over to another view. Can you guys hear me? Let's give it a minute. Make sure you guys can hear me. Also, where the hell did I put streaming chat? Okay, nope, that's not it. Where did it go? All right, I lost chat. I can't tell if you guys can hear me. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yes, yes, you can hear you. Okay, cool. Can you guys see my desktop? Do you guys see creation kit? A whole lot of garbage open on the left over there. Yep, cool. All right. So I am loading the Papyrus editor right now. So guys, look, I even did you. Look at this. Have you guys ever seen such an empty Notepad++? Look at that. You've never seen such a thing from me. Probably be the last time. Okay, we'll give the CK a moment. It is currently loading up the Papyrus script manager, which I make heavy use of, and I should have opened it before we started. What's the interesting thing about script manager is the first time you run it, it takes like 30 seconds, and then after that, it just kind of pops open really quickly. So hold on, let me get chat back where I can quickly see it. All right, there we go. Oh, you guys see my secret Discord tab. I'll let you guys imagine what that might be. That is our top secret channel. But I believe I have, hold on, let's quickly do a test. Yeah, okay, good. It's on my other window. You guys can't see. Okay, here we go. So let's go to, so the first quest of SS2. So we need to go into quest, and we prefix everything with SS2 so we can filter it out. There's a new feature they added in the Skyrim CK that I hope they bring, which is there's like a checkbox here that it filters out only the forms that are in your plugin. Man, I hope they bring that to Fallout 4, because then we wouldn't need to prefix everything. I would probably still would on a habit, but and just for organization purposes, but would be nice, because occasionally somebody forgets to do that when they submit a merge, and then that stuff kind of gets lost. All right, so MQ01, this is our first quest. MQ for main quest, obviously. Now the scene where things got stuck, I think, was here. After he finished the scan, yeah, because I believe he said this line like, so just play along all right. Wait, so let me think here. Or was it here? Was it, don't mind the ASM is just scanning the area for materials. I also want to know what that smoke was. That made me think something got destroyed, which would be really weird. But minor issue. I'm more like, right now. I'm worried about. Mostly, I'm worried about showstoppers. There will be some like little nitpicky polish stuff that I get hung up on. Like this kind of would have been if Jake would have wandered back after I talked to him here. I would have called this, oh, I'm just being nitpicky, but I know I can fix it. But now it's just a showstopper, so it's a must fix. But I believe it was like right after this scene. So right now we've got him set. So he's using this AI package turn and face, and this makes him basically look at the ASAM sensor. So he's watching it with you. And then we jump over to the scene finished scan. So finished scan, we go over to here. And so so let's look at our flags here. We've got run only scene packages. And we end the scene on combat, which is fine. So you want the scene to end, and we have a re-entry point. That's a good start. The problem is that he doesn't have a fallback AI package. So his fallback is he's just using some default vanilla AI package. So we need to solve for that. So I think what we want to do is look at what quest stage we're at here. So let's go back to finished scan, and I'm sorry, placed. Usually we set stages in this type of area. So quest completion on stage 55. So I'm guessing stage 55 triggers when the sensor is finished. So we'll use that as our reference point, and we'll say we'll make sure that we have a custom AI package for Jake here. So we're going to go to aliases. We're going to go to Jake. We're going to add him a new AI package to handle this kind of scenario where combat interrupts things. So we basically want to give him a fallback AI package, and we'll just make him follow the player, and that'll be until the scenes are resumed. So we'll show you guys how to set that up. All right, so we're going to do a new AI package here, and we're going to call this SS2 MQ01. Actually, let me look at the format we've been using for the names for the other ones. Oh yeah, SS2 MQ01. Okay, cool. Jake, and we actually looks like we already have one. Jake follow player package. Let me check that really quick before. Do we wish to continue? Cancel. Okay, let's look at this one first and see if this is already doing what we need. Equals 1. Guess distance is less than 2,000. Jake first grading equals 0. Okay, so we would have to do a complex set of OR conditions, but we can basically duplicate this one. So we're going to call this one start of quest. So we're going to rename this one. So I'm going to say no, yes, and now we'll create we're going to duplicate that one. So let's see. Fallback post combat. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull off what exactly the conditioning I want for this, but basically we're going to start with stage 55 equals 1. So this is after that, and we need this to stop. We need to stop when we're done with the settlement stuff. So let's see here. So I guess we do residential. Let's see, player, no interest in ASAMs. Yeah, I think we'll do it till our plot finished equals 0. So basically what we're saying here is after the ASAM animation is complete, but before the plot is finished, we will have this as a fallback. And now the scenes will take over. So this will not override those, but we may end up needing to change this. So what we have to test this. We have to like figure out what are conditions that will actually work. And so what we can do is try and get we have to do this is going to require some testing, and because I'm doing it between 2 different PCs, we're going to have to do some file transfers and stuff. It's going to be a little slow, but we'll get the job done. But basically what we need to do is make sure that this is only used until this point. I think actually, you know what I'm going to try? I think I might try something else here. So I think one of the issues, like why he was using the vanilla package. So let me check real quick. Hold on, let me tab over to the other PC for a second. I want to see what it was. Here we go. So I want to get that 38C0E. Let's see what that was, because I'm trying to think of something more universal of how do we just make, because even if he doesn't follow the player or doesn't stay next to the plot, he should at least stay in the settlement, right? He was going to who knows where. But if he at least stayed in the settlement, it would make it a lot more easy to bring him back into the fold here. So let's look at our packages. So Workshop Sandbox default is what he's doing. So now I need to check, going back into the game, and I know you guys can't see me in the game yet. I'm just doing a quick check to see. I'm running a command called getLinkedRef workshop item space workshop item keyword on Jake, and this is going to tell me what settlement he's associated with. So he is associated correctly with, I can see from the ID, he is correctly associated with Starlight Drive-In, yet he's still trying to sandbox to somewhere else. And I think that may be just a problem with the sandbox, with the default sandbox, is sandbox packages are really problematic because they don't update often. So when you're trying to pull an NPC out of a sandbox package to do something else, it can be a pain. So like the update just doesn't happen that often. And like usually you don't notice, because when NPCs are sandboxing, it's when they have nothing to do. So you will trigger an update naturally by fast traveling or sleeping or waiting or whatever. So since we're not doing that in this case, we're not triggering that. So I think what we need is we need to update this sandbox current location or clone it and make a version of it where he will not sandbox, but kind of wander the settlement, just kind of stay within range of the settlement. And we need to condition it on basically that other thing I showed, so the other stage I mentioned. So we're going to do a clone of this. So we're going to go sandbox. We're going to go Jake wander settlement. And we're going to call this one, we will do this the same thing we were going to do before, which is, we'll do it after the player places the R plot equals 1. We will make it when the player stays near Jake, because if the player wanders off themselves, we don't care what Jake is doing, right? And then we also want to, and so this is testing, is the player in the same settlement, and then are they at least close to Jake? And then we need a turn off condition, like at some point we need to just let Jake do whatever he's going to do so that we're not capturing his AI for too long. So we will again go to the, let's see here, we'll do the RR plot finished, and we will set that to 0. And let's see. And we're going to give this a little more context. After Jake Wonder settlement, after residential, we'll say during residential build. We'll call it that, during residential build. All right, and now we need to change the package. So I said AI sandbox packages are problematic because they will get stuck. So we're going to turn this into something else. We're going to set this to a, let's see. Well, I guess we'll turn this to a travel and guard. That might work. So let's see what this is going to do. This is going to let him travel. Okay, you know what we can do? We'll do a custom package. We'll start out with a sandbox, but we're going to like modify the, we're going to modify it a bit. So we're going to change this to sandbox at found location. And then we're going to break free of the sandbox. So then so what you can do here when these AI packages is you can set a package to like fill out this sequence down here at the bottom. And then if you switch over to, oh shoot, I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's set it back on here. Sandbox at found area. On location. Then if you go and switch this template to none, it unlocks this sequence so you can edit it directly. So we're going to first set up the variable. So the way an AI package works is you got this procedure tree. This is what they're going to do, but it's done with variables. So it's like, it's kind of broad. They're designed to be reused, but we can go more specific with it. And then you set it up to get specific for your package by filling in the variables up here. So these are kind of like, for those of you guys who have messed around with a little bit of game editing, you can associate it similarly to the working with scripts where they have properties. You can imagine that this is your script and then these are your script properties. So you fill these out in how you want them to react, but this is kind of your code. This is just like a poor man's visual scripting of AI. So we want to start our location. We're going to actually do near linked reference. So when an NPC gets assigned to a workshop, they get linked to the workbench on workshop item keyword the same way that the items do. So we know that we can use this. So now this is going to say within a radius of the workbench, we're going to give it a radius of 2000, which should be large enough. The target selector will determine what kind of things the NPC is sandboxing, and you can pair some of this stuff up. So like, I'm not just like the way I know this is just a lot of experience. Like the workshop item keyword just came from a lot of experience. But the reason I know how these are working is, again, experience. You can actually figure this out though. So if we look at this name location, this will be directly referenced in one of these procedures. So we can see here the procedure find, it's looking for this location. So we're finding a location here. So you're defining that location up there. Or this target selector, it's looking for it right here. So it's the target selector. What is it that they're looking for? So often you'll do something like, for a target selector, you might say you want relaxation objects or you want work objects. So we'll set it to look for workshop objects. So that way he can go use workbenches and stuff while he's wandering around, if the player just kind of ignores him. So we'll go to keyword. And if you're ever curious about going in deeper on any of these subjects where I'm going beyond what you understand, if I'm not paying attention to chat, which I likely am not going to be when I'm deep and diving on here, search my channel for the specific thing like this keyword stuff. I've done like a really deep dive video on keywords and how they work. So I gotta remember what the name of the, oh, it's furniture is what we want. Furniture. All right, I'm having trouble remembering that it has work in this. So we're going to go ahead and just search this up. So we're going to go to work, and we're going to look under keywords, which are under miscellaneous. See if it'll jog my memory of what the actual keyword is. Of course, we've got all these SS2 ones. Let's see if it's a workshop one. Oh, you know how we can find this a little easier? We can go to, let's go to furniture, and we're going to think of something that we would want, that it would have it on there, and then that will definitely help my memory here. Oops, spelling workbench would help. All right, so let's look for, say, like the armor workbench. That would be an appropriate thing for him to look on. So we'll open this up. It takes a minute to load these furniture forms. All right, so here's all the keywords that you can search for, and a lot of these are used across multiple things. So I'm going to try and find one that's more generalized. Let's see, Anim Fern. None of these look very generalized. These are going to be I guess we could use workbench general, but you're not going to find these at every single workshop. So this might actually be a case of we just do an object type, any object. Yeah, let's do an object type instead. We'll just let him use any furniture he can find. So any object, and this takes a minute to fill out here. So a lot of times if you were to dig into some of the workshop AI packages, their target selectors would be looking at certain furniture types. Just because now I need to know what it's called, what the keyword is. I'm going to show you guys what I was aiming at on here. Let's see here, workshop. We don't want bed. We'll look at workshop guard post furniture. That might have it on here. So the key, just so you guys who are wondering about what I was aiming at with the keyword thing, I feel like I need to finish that thought. Because there is a keyword on here. Workshop work object. That's what I was looking for. Workshop work object. But now thinking about it, we don't just want to do the work objects. So I'm going to go with object type furniture. And that will just let him use any type of furniture that he can animate on. If we were to go down further here, we've got this sequence. So basically the way this AI package is working is it's simultaneously saying, hey, I need you to do these two things simultaneously. Try and find any furniture in this location. And put them in the object list called sandbox location. So there's some sort of object list defined here somewhere. I'm not seeing it. I don't see it in this list. That's odd. Usually you would expect it to be here, but maybe they have a way to hide them. So it's basically saying find within this location that they defined, whatever they've defined as target selector, and stash them in this object list called sandbox location. Then we have this sequence of things where it's going to say travel to somewhere in the location and then attempt to sandbox there. And then the sandbox is going to use all of these different checkbox settings, like are they allowed to sleep? Are they used to conversation? So we'll say no, we don't want them sleeping because Jake's supposed to be, because in this case, this is during the residential build. He should not be sleeping, but if the player is just not paying attention to him, sure, let him eat. Let him, we'll say no to conversation. Because this is going to be like random event conversation. Yeah, he can do sit. He can idle marker. That's fine. Allow wandering. We're going to say yes. Preferred pathing we don't care about. Use own refs. No, because we just want him to use whatever he can find. And then what we're going to do to prevent him getting stuck in sandbox. This is where we're going to change from the default. And we're going to do it for both of these. Is we're going to add a new procedure here, which is going to be a wait procedure. We're going to uncheck use existing. And we're going to call this wait seconds. And we're basically just going to say periodically during this sandbox, we're going to say just wait for a few seconds. And that way the sandbox will have to complete periodically. He will go sit in a piece of furniture and then it will jump down to this wait for a few seconds, and then that will periodically break up the sandboxing. Now, I'm trying to find really quick before I commit to this. I've done this, I believe, in HQ, and I basically I'm trying to find an example to make sure I'm doing this correctly because it's been a while since I've set up such a package like this. Oh, I'm in furniture. That's why I'm not finding any HQ things. So let's go to, not GQ, HQ. All right, let's go to character, package, and I think is it morning leisure? Will this have it? It might have it in this. Okay, we've definitely got a bunch of procedure waits in the sandbox. Workshop sandbox at found location and guard area. All right, we're going to go ahead and edit. We're going to click edit on the vanilla. We're not actually going to edit it. I just want to see how this is laid out here. Okay, so they've got randomized waits before the sandboxing. Okay, so this one is not set up with the sandbox breaking. Let me find one here. Sandbox destination maybe. Okay, no, I'm not doing it in these anymore. I wonder if I ditched this pattern for some reason. I'm going to trust former me to know that I decided that this wait thing was a bad idea for some reason. So I need to make sure that this does not get stuck though. That is the biggest problem with sandbox packages. Is the NPC will just strictly stick to them. It's really hard to get them pulled out of that. So I need a way. how do we do this in a way that doesn't get stuck? All right, let me put, let's try this. All right, we're going to do a random percent on here is greater than 0.95. And what this will do is on average, every 20th time it comes back to this package, it'll just break. It'll just skip it. That should be, we'll test that. I've never done this before. This is me just spitballing ideas right now. But that should give us a 5% chance to just randomly break free out of the package. All right, so we're going to set this up here. We've got it on conditions, flags. We don't care about any of these. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit OK to this. Create a new form, yes. And then we're going to add this in. So let's go to our Jake. All right, and then we're going to add this in here. Now the package is evaluated top to bottom, so we need to make sure that our more narrow ones are up toward the top. So let's check our conditions here. That is, okay, that will evaluate to false at the point we're at. This one will evaluate to false at the point we're at. So will this one, okay, so it shouldn't matter. All of these are going to evaluate to false. Okay, cool. So this will end up being our fallback for this particular section of the quest. Now, I could have been a little more heavy-handed with it and just made it more generic and trusting that the scenes will all fall back to this, but I'm concerned about breaking what's already there, so that's why I'm going with these very narrow conditions. If this were if we had not released this yet, I would have gone very broad and been like, let's just do a catch-all that anytime he's not doing one of his scene packages, he kind of falls back to this. But again, I don't, because I don't know what other things we may have set up in there that would be that this could create problems for. I'm trying to be very light on this so that right now, at most, it will affect this brief sequence between when the plot finishes scanning, or the ASM finishes scanning, and when the ASM finishes scanning and the player goes and talks to, or in it. Hold on, let me think about what the stage. So I did 55 to 100. One of the reasons I love doing this live is because I can talk through it, because it's kind of like there's a thing we have in programming called rubber ducking. I think it's just a engineering thing, not necessarily programming, but where a lot of times when you're trying to find the words to explain a problem to somebody else, you figure out what you did wrong. You figure out what stupid thing you did. And so I'm kind of doing that with you guys right now. I'm talking myself through this. So basically we've got it set to the animation is complete, and the plot hasn't finished building yet. And so when the plot is building, we have Jake use a series of animations to act like he's in the furniture. So it could be that we end up breaking that, right? Like we have this override AI package. It might be that now we've made it so that he won't actually stay and work on the plot like he usually does. So that's where, again, we want, but that's the most we would have broken that little bit. And that's just visuals. So what I'm going to do now is toss this file over to the play PC, and we will bot back in game and actually test it. So we'll roll back the save. So give me a moment to switch you guys back over to there. All right, I'm gonna switch you guys over to there. We'll just stare at Jake for a moment, and I'm gonna copy this file over. Give me just a second, guys. All right, you know what we need, because I'm gonna be doing this a lot. I'm gonna create a special folder in my drive just for this purpose. I'll put it right near the top. Let's see. Pass for bug checking on stream PC. All right, let's get this file over there. And unfortunately, I didn't have to do any script files, so that makes this real easy. I can just copy over this ESP file. Okay, now we go on this computer. Okay, now we got to exit out of the game, so you guys are just going to see my desktop wallpaper for a few minutes here. Or I guess you're going to see, even less interesting, our log file. I'll actually move that out of your way now, because that's, I'm sure you'd rather look at whatever random desktop backgrounds are coming up. Windows 11 has some really cool looking backgrounds by default. It's one of the only good things I have to say about Windows 11. All right, let's see here. Let's bring up this. My drive. I know you guys can't see. You're just going to hear me ASMR you to death. Let's download this file. Go to our downloads. All right, and now we need to find our Fallout 4 folder. Fallout 4 data, replacing KGath edits, and I have these. Hold on, I can show you this real quick. So I have this series of edit files that I keep enabled all the time. I'll highlight them and then I'll show you my load order. So this is my load order file, plugin set text. So you can see I have these like edit files. These are just like these minor edits I've made to each of the chapter plugins so that I can quickly, that I don't have to worry about uninstalling and reinstalling and stuff. They're just always enabled there. And most of them, I believe they're all blank at this point, except now this one. But I'm actually going to double check that, because if I have an old version of one of them, I could be creating some weird flaws. So give me a second here while we're troubleshooting things. Make sure they're all, yep, they are blank files so far, except for this one now. All right, so we're going to bob back into the game here. And now we will have this new plugin with this minor changes to the plugin, and hopefully we trigger that same combat so that we get the same kind of experience here. All right, now we want to go before this bug happens. So we're going to go to, we have to go back to here, to pre-Jake. Okay, here we go. Remember, this is the best kind of magic, CK changes, and then seeing it work in game. Well, hopefully they work in game, but this is a lot of modding, is just taking your best guess at this stuff, and then you just go bop it into the game and see what happens. In reality, like the way Bethesda would do it, is they would have real-time tools to test some of these ideas, and then run those, and then when they're sure that it's working real time, then they go kind of codify it in the CK. That would be the preferable way, but we work with what we got. All right, so for the sake of speeding this along, I don't remember where we left off with our resource situation, so I'm just going to TGM so I can quickly build this again. All right, Jake should be wandering over here in a second. I can actually run interfere with him. All right, we're gonna power through his dialogue right now.
Hi.
Yeah?
Oh, we're not in the settlement. That's why he hasn't triggered that yet. We're outside. That first stage, I believe, is conditioned to the settlement bounds. So let's give him a second. We're being a little impatient. We should start hearing the, what do you call it, the radio broadcast. Like if you were to tune into your own broadcast, we should start hearing that play in a moment. A CAD's optional fix of my mistake. I pickpocketed Jake's armor to see if I could give it ballistic weave for him. Gave it back. He didn't put it on until Gunners kidnapped him. That's kind of funny.
Hi.
You okay there?
Okay, no, we're still... All right, let him into the bounce.
Hey!
There it goes.
Hello there.
Attention, Commonwealth residents.
Hey! Hello there! If I'm not mistaken, you're the fella I've been looking for.
You hear my broadcast?
Sounded as if you were...
That's right.
Well, in that case...
Right.
Here. It's called an ASAM sensor.
Hey, there we go.
If you're going to be building settlements, these things are what you'll want to use.
Okay. Care to elaborate?
I think a demonstration is in order. Place that ASAM down on the ground somewhere. Go ahead. Any old spot will do.
Okay. Unlock Tom's place. Alright, let's go try building in the same spot, in the hopes that we happen to trigger those blood bugs over there. If not, what we'll do just to test it, if they don't come along, is we will force spawn some raiders or something. Alright, no, we don't want furniture. We want a residential plot. We should hear Jake fall down next to us in a moment. Oh, nope, he didn't fall that time.
Smart move of choosing Rotke brand ASAM sensors for your city planning needs. Unlike other less reliable multi-purpose sensors, Rotke brand
Unfortunately, can't
ASAM
fix this part
sensors
up. I'll
offer
speed this
the
part
level
up.
of versatility
Remember, we used to use the
and
construction kit back in
connectability
Morrowind.
that you
Got very
deserve.
addicted to playing the CS mode in the
Rotke
game.
brand
Well, now you see why I'm
America's #1
been working on sim settlements for 8 years, something like crazy like
Nicely
that.
done.
SS2 for
Don't
5.
mind the
Well,
ASAM.
no,
It's just
SS2.
scanning the
Guys,
area
this
for
year is
materials.
SS2's 5-year anniversary in August, which is or October rather, which is crazy. But yeah, I find it far more enjoyable to work on games than to play them anymore.
Now for this next part, I'm gonna pretend to be a settler who's come to work for you.
Okay, so here's where it got screwed up before. So let's go ahead. I'm not seeing the bug, so we're gonna just spawn some raiders. So help raider for NPC, I think is the command to find some. All right, we don't want the FF ones; those are spawned ones. We need to find some raw. The 6-0 are gonna be Nuka World. Those are who knows what their thing will be. Let's do some of these. Player dot place at me 110044. We'll do a couple of them just to make sure that dog meat doesn't one-shot them.
So just play along.
Okay, so he didn't wander off. Let's see what his... Let's check what his AI package is. So far, so good. So he didn't immediately start going to Sanctuary. I don't even know where he was headed. I couldn't even tell you. Like, it didn't even look like it was going towards Sanctuary, right? Because he was going... What direction are we? What? He was going east, and there's nothing over there. I don't know where he would be going. Alright, so now we go check his package again. That sounds way creepier than I wanted to. Give me a second here. I'm going to switch over to my other monitor again. Alright, let's go. KJ Utilities, reload it. Okay, so now he is using our package. I can tell just because the ID is random. It's an E, so that's very likely our Kingath edit CSP. Okay, so let's get back into the game here, and we'll go talk to him, see what happens.
Excuse me.
All right, then. Now for this next part, I'm gonna pretend to be a settler who's come to work for you. So just play along, all right?
So now there's argument there that we could set it up to be like, oh, we should make him approach the player there. But I think the reason that we don't do that is, first of all, there's infinite of these potentials, right? Like at every point in the conversation, we would have to then rig up a reapproach, and each one requires a unique AI package. So it would later, like to handle this for every possible combat encounter throughout the quest line, it would probably require thousands of those kind of AI packages, which is just a level of excess that's not worth it. This is the type of thing that Bethesda should have baked into the base engine behavior. And this is why the same thing happens with a lot of base game quests, right? You just see the NPCs kind of wander off, or they don't just naturally pick up the conversation after combat, and you have to start it yourself. So we went with that pattern because this is the type of thing like where if I had my way, if I could control the game engine at low level, I would make it so that it would be like, okay, you had a conversation, you could, there'd be a flag that would be like must resume post combat, and it would handle it on its own, and that would be an all default thing, and rather than having to do it individually. There's a lot of stuff like that. Another little one that's similar where it's like, why isn't this the base game behavior? When you have, imagine you're sitting in a room with your relatives, or we all have that experience, right? Or Christmas just passed, everybody, you're sitting around in a room with your relatives, and one person is speaking. Everybody, or damn near everybody, is looking at that person, right? It's very rare that you maybe somebody breaks eye contact for a minute, or looking at their phone, or watching a kid. But for the most part, everybody who's engaged in the conversation is looking at that person, right? Well, in order to do that in the CK, you have to manually determine that. You have to, for each person, you have to individually create a little record that says, "Hey, look at this person while they're talking." You have to create this little record for it. It's crazy that's not the default behavior. To me, that should be the default behavior. Is everybody who's part of the scene, part of the conversation, should look at the talker, and then turning it off. You're like, I want this guy to look away, or I want this guy to look at this thing, or I want this guy to feel like he's not part of the conversation. That should be the manual thing. Anyway, but that's the type of stuff where it's like there's some default behavior in the game that's just not set up ideally. So that's the type of nitpicky stuff where I'm not opposed to doing necessarily, unless it's something like this, where it's like the number of the amount of work it would create is just not worth the juice ain't worth the squeeze there, where it gets mind-numbingly complicated. But either way, I'd say we fixed that bug. So that was it was a nice first shot there. We fixed a little basic opportunity for the game to break. But now the question is, does our AI package cause problems with this next part? So we may have fixed the first part in the sense that we kept him from wandering away, but we may have created a new bug. So let's check.
Boy, I sure am glad I found this settlement to live in. But oh no, there are no homes available. And I don't know. I guess I'll...
Don't sell yourself short.
You're right. If only I... But wait, what is this? Why...
What do you need it for?
That is a great question. You see, with an ASAM, there's no barrier for entry when it comes to building something. All I'd need to do is follow the step-by-step...
Okay, so now we find out, is he stuck in this package, or is he going to use the correct one for this? So let's check his package right now and see if he's still stuck in the same one. My guess is yes. Nope. Okay, he went to 20F37, which I don't actually know what that is. I could check. Hold on. That's why we have the CK open, right? Let's see. What is this new package he's using, and is it the one that we want him to be using? So it should be one to make him wander over to the CK. So we'll go 20F37. I know you guys can't see this. Yeah, we have him going to a custom package we have that's called Link Custom MQ09. So what we did, because we have to do this so often where we're like making the AI move to different places, we set up a whole series of these default AI packages where the quest designer doesn't have to set them up custom. They just link the NPC to an item on a certain keyword. So I have that keyword now, so we can check what Jake is linked to. So right now, he's using an AI package that says walk to whatever is linked to you on this particular keyword. So now we can do get linked ref, and then I can type in this keyword. Link custom MQ09. And he's linked to nothing right now. So that is probably our issue with why he's not doing anything right now. So now I'm going to check in. So now I'm going to bring you guys back over to CK so you can see what I'm doing, because this is going to get... Okay, how about now? Sound back? Okay, cool. I'm glad I saw that someone say sound's gone before I got into that too deep. Okay, so we have this series of AI packages that we've created that are the SS2 Link Custom. We have some that are MQ for main quest, and there's some that are other, I believe they're called. And the basic idea is that quest designers would not need to get into the nitty-gritty of how they work. They just use them and link the NPC to anything they want on this keyword. So we have this keyword set up, and then they can reuse it over and over again. So this one happens to only be used in this one scene. Nobody ever had a quest where it got up to 9 different unique references in a main quest that they needed to link a single NPC to. So it was only this quest that's super complicated, and that makes sense. This is one of our more detailed quests for a thing. And I think we also started steering away from this link custom system in chapter 3, especially because we just had too much. It ended up being just quicker to just create new packages each time. But I think we a lot of time use these as a template, and then we just created new ones. So that way we could get really, really specific with the conditioning. So let's see what he was supposed to be linked on. So if we go check him. So we're going to go look at Jake and see. So usually we define what he's supposed to be linked to in aliases to keep it simpler. Sometimes it's done in scripts, but a lot of times we do it in the aliases. So I'm going to check and see if this one's set in an alias. So if we go under the alias here, you can see what we've linked him to with the alias. So we've used link custom MQ01 through 04 to link him to things. So we did not use 09 here. So we need to figure out where is this keyword, the 09, being assigned to him, and maybe it's not being done so, and maybe that's part of our problem here. So let's look up this keyword. So we're going to go to SS2 link custom MQ. We're going to go down to our keywords. Find 09, we'll hit use info. This will show us all the different places that this is being used. So we can see it's being used in Quest 7. It's also being used in MQ Master. So I know MQ Master, I created kind of a generic function to handle Jake doing all the plot work because he does it 7 different times. So it was like, rather than having to reinvent the system that controls that, I was like, let's just make that one time and we'll keep reusing it. Ironically, you guys have, those of you who watch a lot of my streams have heard me talk about this probably, that the first one goes usually really well, and then the other ones are like, it's like 50-50 shot it actually works. And part of that is probably because we tend to play the first one in an empty settlement, so pathing is going to be wonky after that. But I think there's something more to that. It seems more clumsy, like it works very slowly for whatever reason. All right, so let's try and figure out if we have this keyword set up here somewhere. So let's go to set linked ref. We'll see what kind of stuff happens in this script. So on the script, so I have off on my other monitor, you guys can't see, but the search results showing me all the places where we're linking him to things. So we have got him linking on a handful of keywords. So we're linking him to the current plot. Okay, no, so that's the ASAM sensor we're linking. So we're linking Jeff to the ASAM sensor here. So we can look at link to talking ASAM. We can check and see if that. So let's see what keyword that is. So link to talking ASAM. So this, we have to figure out what keyword that is. If we go to our script properties here. And let's see, that is not listed here. So it's probably a separate subsection we have for these properties. So it's not under keywords, plot demonstrations. Here it is, it's collapsed. Link to talking ASAM is MQ10. Yep, so link to current plot is what we have, MQ09. Okay, so we need to look at what in the code is doing link to, so hold on, let's get this. Link to current plot, find all of these. Again, I'm doing this off screen, you guys don't see this. Let's see, set linked ref. I'm just looking in the references where we are setting him. So right here, immediately link Jake so his scene packages will work. So this did not happen, basically. He did not end up getting linked to his plot. So the question is why? Try to assign Jake to next plot. Okay, so let's see. We're going to open up the script on... Okay, first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to try and run this manually. Let's see what happens if I just run this. So first we're going to do a save. So save, pre-run, assign Jake to next plot. So now we can run any function from the console by doing CQF, then the editor ID of the quest, and then the actual thing here. So hold on, I'll get you guys back into the game so we can see what I'm doing. All right, so if we go back to game here, you can see I've entered in CQF SS2 underscore MQ master, try to assign Jake to next plot. It's not case sensitive, so the other, the function name was written in like capital letter in each word, but we're just going to do all lowercase. So we're going to run this, and then we will run the get linked ref command again to see if he got assigned anything. He did not. So now we're going to go back to our code and see why is it that that failed. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. Well, I guess if you wouldn't be able to hear, well, you guys will say you can't hear me in a second if you can't. Okay, so we're going to look at our code here. So say if not, get stage done, Jake assigned at residential plot. Okay, so we need to look at the MQ01 script here. So we're going to go back to our scripts, we're going to change this to V2, which is part of the namespace I have for SS2, and we'll change this to MQ01. And we're going to bring up this script as well, and we're going to look at what this stage number is. So this is stage 75. So this is saying as long as that stage is not done. So I'm going to go back in the game and really quick and check if that stage is done. So I can do I know you guys aren't going to see this, but I'll talk you through it. So I'm basically running a thing called SQS, and then the editor ID for the quest. And it will show me what stages have and haven't been done, and then I can page up and page down through them. So I'm just checking really quick to make sure 75 has not in fact been done. It has not. So we would pass that. Then the next thing it has to pass is the residential plot alias and MQ master has to be filled. So to check that, there's a console command called SQV, and we can run that on our quest, and it'll show us all the aliases. And for this, I'm actually going to show you guys back in game because it'll be useful for folks who need to learn this, what they're looking at. So when you run this command, the first thing you see at the bottom there is it will show you the basic quest state. It will show you whether the quest is running. If the quest is enabled, I don't know what would make a quest disabled. I guess if it's not running, it maybe also says no for that. Tell you what the current stage is and its priority level. And then just above that, it will show all of the aliases that it has captured right now. They're all listed as either ref or location. And if we got high enough, we can see it there, the line that says 43 aliases for quest SS2 MQ master. So we're going to page down through these. We're looking for one. They're unfortunately not in alphabetical order. I don't actually know what controls the order. But we're looking for one that's named residential plot. Let's see here. Actually, hold on. Let me check that. Residential plot alias. So residential plot alias is the name of the alias in the script, but that may not be in the CK. So you can see how this gets very complicated very quickly. So we're going to go to residential plot alias, and it is called tutorial alias. Okay, so we're looking for something called tutorial alias _ residential plot. So I'm going to look through these. Okay, there we go. Tutorial alias. Talking ASAM sensor got filled. Residential plot did get filled. So I can see it's set to FF001BA6. So if we were to grab my controller again and come over here and try and grab onto this plot. There, we grabbed it there. So BA6, so it matches. So that is in fact what it has set in the tutorial alias, which is correct. So now I go back. So now we know, going back to our... Again, we're going to go back. Oh, I cannot wait to get I am absolutely 100% going to get some sort of stream deck or something set up here. Hold on a second. Now I can't remember what scene it was. All right, I think it was this one. Okay, here we go. So I want to be able to just push a button and swap back and forth between these two screens. Okay, so if we go here, so we've confirmed that these aliases are good, right? These aliases are correct. So now we're grabbing the plot ref here. Kplot ref is going to equal residential plot alias. The rest of these are else ifs, but since we passed, we should end up in this section of the script. So this is going to run. We're going to fetch that tutorial plot, this one over here, and we're going to fetch the Wasteland Lounger building plan. The reason we did this, that we force a particular building plan and not allow just a random one, was first of all, this is first impression, right? We want to make sure it's like a simple building plan. There are some crazy building plans add-on pack authors do, and if somebody's first impression with the mod was like some of the wacky ones, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's some ones that are just kind of out there where they're not very immersive friendly, that it might ruin the experience for players. But that the original reason actually wasn't that. Originally, we had planned on it being that as the NPC is building the plot, or as Jake is about to build the plot, we were going to do like a kind of laser etched version of each of the building stages before that would appear there. So it would be like the ASAM sensor was projecting where he should put everything. And then we just couldn't get the technology working for that in a dynamic way. I could have forced it. We could have forced it to do like making custom meshes for that building plan. And that was floated around at some point, and then we decided that it just wasn't worth doing because I wanted to make it work for every building plan. Because I was like, that would just be one of those awesome features where people would probably want to see that for every building plan because it would make the whole thing feel more immersive. But couldn't get that working in an easy way for add-on pack authors to do, so we ended up scrapping that plan. But that's why we grabbed that building plan, we grabbed the plot ref, and now this whole else if block will end. We'll get down to here. So now kplot ref will not be none because we know we are setting it to whatever's inside this alias, which we have confirmed in game is correct, the plot we expect. And then we're setting it Jake Actor X set linked ref on this keyword. So as far as we can tell from the code, this all should be happening right now. So the next step here, when we have something that's not happening that clearly should be, the next step is to add debugging into the code so that we can figure out what in the heck is going on here. So we're going to do one more check, though. We're going to do one more check of Jake and see when I run that, see if maybe there was just some timing issues for when we do this. So let's try to assign him again. Grab Jake one more time. And we are going to grab that, check his linked ref on that again. Okay, so now he got assigned to it. So there may have just been some timing issues there. So this may have been a timing problem. So that's really interesting that it's suddenly working. So let me look at... Actually, let's wait a second. Let's see if he does something here. All right, actually, you know what? Let's trace his package again. Let's make sure he's... Where's our trace package that we run recently? And I'm just hitting up on my keyboard so that it will go back through my old... And we want this one. All right, he's using 20F37 still. What did we determine that was? That is the travel to. So he has the correct package now. He's been told to travel to the plot. My guess is he can't reach it now. That's probably what we're running into. Whoop. All right, let me get you guys back into the game. There we go. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize. Again, need that button because, yeah, you guys are on the CK and I'm talking about in-game. Need a button, quick button to switch back and forth. So we're learning already what we need to change about the stream format for this. So I'm going to need a stream deck. All right. Yeah, see, this is one of the points where we get a problem of I have no good way to troubleshoot this AI package. So what we're going to try is giving him some stairs. And this is one of those problems where it's the only elegant solution I can think of, and I think we do have to do it, because again, like, somebody could get stuck here and have no idea what to do, right? And while a lot, all of you guys have probably, done stuff on the, yep, that worked. Look at now, all of a sudden he has a path to get up there. Off he goes. Or maybe now he's not even using the stairs. So, but it's probably that because I built it.
Down a sensor, your role in the construction
by building that, I triggered the workshop to update the navigation for the settlement. And that allowed him to find a new path. So, maybe a player would think of that, but it would be nice to have a fallback of, like, maybe after 30 seconds, he just gets teleported over the plot, right? But our AI package isn't, so our earlier thing that we fixed is working, right? It's not, it didn't break this.
The ASAM provides are so easy to understand. Even
it's almost like we fixed one thing and we didn't break anything else, but we discovered another problem, this is often how it goes. This is often what it's like to troubleshoot something as monstrous as SS2. So I'm going to put in so actually, I think that's our first patch note. Fixed an issue during the quest, laying foundations.
All right, just one more nail.
If Jake was pulled into combat during certain periods, he would wander off from the settlement. So I'm going to pause the game real quick. Alright, so obviously, ideally, he would have used the animation markers, but I still feel like this is an acceptable fallback, right? You'd rather have him not use the animation markers and have the quest proceed than it just get frozen, right? Because this just feels like Bethesda jank, right? It's just like, oh, they didn't actually use the animation markers they said they were. This is Bethesda jank. We find generally we accept it. Like we're in a Bethesda game. We can't avoid it. This is part of the silliness and I think it's it works fine with something like Fallout 4, which is super campy. So I think that's okay. But I don't like when things feel like they're totally stuck. So I'm going to go into our script. Let me bring you guys back in the CK now. We're going to go back into our script here. And you guys, yep, okay, I got you guys back in the script. So now we can cancel out of all this stuff. We don't need to mess with any of these. And we're just going to look at our MQ01 script again here. And what we want to do is look at ASAM animation complete. Actually, we want to look at player agrees to demonstration. Okay, so when All right, running the, try to assign Jake to next plot. Okay, so a couple of things probably occurred here that we need to deal with. So one, there's a chance that my running it through console command is what got us unstuck. So we need to deal with that. So what we likely have to do here is set a loop to keep trying this. So let's see what happens here. If we try to assign Jake to next plot, if it fails, we don't ever know about it and it doesn't try again. So I think what we'll do here is we will do we'll turn this into we'll add a return to this. So we're going to add a Boolean return. So this is going to return whether it failed or not. And we're basically going to determine if we found a plot ref, we will return true. Otherwise, we'll return false. So we're going to assume that everything worked correctly. Otherwise, down here, false. We didn't get a plot, so it needs to try again. So now MQ01 knows that it needs to try again. So then we can come down here and go, if not, so if this failed, then we will wait a little bit. So we'll wait, we'll wait 3 seconds, and then we'll try it again. And we'll actually do that in a while loop with a max number of tries. So int I max tries, we'll say 5. And then we'll do while I is less than, oh yeah, we need to establish an I. Int I equals 0. Now, unfortunately, there's no for loop in Papyrus, so those of you who are programmers are probably wondering why we can't do something simple like a for loop. While I is less than max tries, we will do this. Utility.wait. And we also need to do and not plot found. So we'll need to also do this. Bool be plot found equals false. And we will do be plot found equals MQ master. And we're just going to run this again. So we're basically just going to keep running this until it turns true, or we run out of the max tries. So I plus equals 1. So then what we do here is if we make it to the end of here and we still haven't found a plot, we're just going to force a plot ourselves. So how will we do that? So what we'll do is we'll find the nearest residential plot to the player. So find, so we're going to pseudocode this. So find nearest residential to player. And then we will assign Jake to it. Teleport Jake to it. So because you got to imagine this is going to take at least 15 seconds, right? Which is going to feel like a long time to the player who doesn't understand what's happening or who hasn't played this before. So that should be plenty of time where they would accept, like, okay, he teleported, he just figured it out. He figured out a package there. And then we will say if, so that, and then, let's see, force stage to proceed. So what's supposed to happen here is when he gets assigned, this stage down here should trigger. So like if we search for this right here, you guys, okay, you can see it right here. It's not being set in this script, it's being set externally. So something else is setting this stage. So if it didn't get set already, we will force it. So if not, I'm working backwards through this. If not get stage done this, we're going to just force it ourselves. So now we've already assigned him. We're good to go. So we're going to go to find the nearest plot. So we need to start by finding a plot near Jake. So that's a residential. So we'll go nearest plot ref. Nearest plot ref equals. And now we're going to bring up a Papyrus guide so I can remember the correct one here. So it is under either game or object reference. So we're going to search under object reference first. So this beautiful website here, this is hosted by UESP, which does a lot of, they hold a lot of Elder Scrolls information. It's like the unofficial Elder Scrolls something. I don't remember what the P stands for, but they mirrored the Creation Kit website, which had all the best information on Papyrus, because Bethesda took it down several years ago for unknown reasons. I mean, I think their plan was to launch a new wiki at some point, and they just haven't. So fortunately, this has been mirrored up here for years and is a lifesaver. So if you're into modding, if you don't have this bookmarked, this is a huge page. I'll post a link in the description here. Here you go. So definitely get that bookmarked if you're modding or interested in modding for any Bethesda game. Because this also, if you were to click up here, oh, I guess that doesn't work. Main page, maybe? Okay, there's also one for Skyrim. I don't know where the thing is, but anyway. There's another one of those for Skyrim if you search it up. All right, so I just want to get any link to the object reference script, and we're looking for a find. Let's see, this will work. Find all references with keyword. So we're going to go into here. So we're going to go, where are we at? So we need to find the nearest plot ref. So so this function is going to find several. So we're just going to put nearby. Actually, hold on a second. We're going to go, there's one other. So this might work, but there's another one that might work better. So we're going to go here. We're going to search for game. There's a game script, Papyrus. This one has a lot of find. Find closest reference of type. This should do what we want right here. As long as a base object accepts a keyword. Let's see. No, that's only looking for a very specific base object, I believe. Well, let's check. Sometimes in the discussion, people have some more information on there. Actually, let's go check my own code to see if I've used this anywhere. So for that, we're going to go to our... This is the install I use for maintaining a separate dev build. I have Fallout 4 installed like 4 times on this machine. I have like a next gen, an old gen, a backup version of an even older gen, and then I have a separate version that's just 163 specifically for my dev environment. All right, so we're gonna search. This program, Ultra Search, is something that used to be awesome. They have since ruined it. This is why I'm stuck on verse 2.3, but the 3.0 version sucks, so I refuse to switch. But this does a really good job of searching a bulk amount of scripts all at once. This is because I refuse to use, well, I have refused. It's actually on my resolution to finally get with the times and use VS Code, but I've refused to use VS Code for so many years that I had to come up with janky solutions to search a lot of different scripts. I have started using Visual Studio. I used to use Visual Studio all the time. And then when I got into web dev and later now into heavy into Papyrus, I got off of it, and then now I've gotten back onto it recently. All right, so we're looking for a use case of this. So let's look at this purchasable PA frame, because I know this is going to be a tiny script, so I want it to look through a lot. So find closest reference of type, PA spawn frame, frame spawn point. Okay, so that is an individual specific reference. I'm looking for a use case where I've used a keyword to see if that's going to be usable for this. Let's try World Repopulation Manager. This is a little bit bigger script, but I can still do this. Yeah, WR.form. Okay, so this only works with specific forms, it looks like, because normally I use a lot of keywords in our stuff. So we're going to go with, let me check one more time, make sure there's not one with a keyword check. So we're going to search for a keyword. No, not even in here. Yeah, so we're going to find all references with keyword, and then we'll just sort it by we'll find the closest one. Okay, so we will find all of the nearby residential plots, and fortunately we have them with some keywords. So we can go player ref. This is something I have defined. I believe I have that defined in the quest. Let's double check that, player ref, because otherwise it's game.getPlayer. Yeah, I established it as a property. You can see right up here as a property, so I can just access it directly. Okay, so we're going to use so we need a keyword for residential plot. So let's go in here and find what that is. Okay, so plot type residential. So we can search for that. So we will do a resident with keyword, and we're going to do 2,000, which is a pretty big radius, because we just want to get anything that's in this element. In fact, actually, I think we're going to go even bigger. We're actually going to go 20,000, and then we can find the closest. Now, I believe I have a utility function set up to find nearest of a thing, because I use it in find nearest workshop. So let me try and find that utility function to just save us a little bit of time here. So let's go find nearest. Give me a second, let this code find. Now, we can't just call this keyword, just what I just did there, this might be confusing to some of you if you're new to Papyrus. You can't just use a keyword like that just because it's an editor ID in the CK. The code still wouldn't know about that because the code, like the actual scripting engine, is agnostic to any forms. It doesn't know anything about your plugin. You have to tell it about that with properties. So anything you define in your plugin, I just use it to speed things up sometimes. So there's an interesting thing where if you use the exact name of an editor ID, you can fill out the property automatically. That's just one of the advantages to doing it this way. So we can do this. And now when we save the script, compile it, and go to fill it and tell the script, hey, what is this? But what does this mean? Like the script doesn't know what this means. It's like, okay, well, you're telling me it's going to be a keyword of some sort. Which keyword is it? And you link kind of in your plugin, the script, you tell it what it is. It's if you've done any game development in Unity, it's like when you fill out the inspector fields. It's the same kind of idea. All right, so we've got that. I'm still waiting for this to finish. Okay, I only came up with crafting lab. That's not the one I'm looking for, but we'll go ahead and look at it anyway. Find nearest power armor. How are we doing that? Okay, we're just doing a simple sorting algorithm. Okay, we'll just do the same thing. I didn't know if I had done a wrapper function for that. I believe I have one, but all right. So if we go if nearby residential plots.length is greater than 0. Actually, we'll say if it's greater than 1, because if it's only 1, we could just use that. So we'll do equals 1. We'll just use that one. So we need to go sim settlements v2 object references sim plot. We'll do k residential plot ref equals none. We'll just assign it to this. And this is going to be an array, so we're going to access the first entry. And oh yeah, we don't have semicolons. And then we will go, okay, so if we got multiple, else if is greater than 1, then we'll do this little sorting algorithm here. All right, we can get rid of this power armor thing, get rid of this. All right, so nearest distance is just some ridiculous distance. I don't know why I did it this way. There's no way it's going to get to that. You can't even get, that's too big a number. That is inexperience at the time. So it's 16 million is the highest number we can, oh no, actually it's because it's a float. You can get a lot higher than that, but this should be fine. Anything bigger than 20,000 will be fine. So we want this, we already have this set up, K residential plot ref, but we need a temporarily nearest object, or nearest ref will do. So then we go nearby residential plots, we swap all of these. Current distance, get distance, but the get distance needs to be from a certain thing. We can't just call it, so we need to call it from something. So the reason it had it in that other script, the get distance, without this is because it was on a reference itself. But this get distance isn't just established in anywhere. So we're inside of a quest script, not an object reference script. So we need to give it a reference to call that from. So we're going to find how far is the player from this plot. And if it's less than the nearest distance and the plot is enabled, that's a good check. You want to make sure that we're not grabbing plots the player scrapped before. Then we can go ahead and say the nearest ref equals this one. And then we set the nearest distance to that. And then we finish going through all the plots to try and find the smallest one. So now at the end, if we have a nearest ref here, then we're not going to return it. We're going to assign it to this variable up here. But we have been acting on just object references because when we do a search, the final references of keywords, it returns everything as just generic object references. But we want a sim plot reference, which is just a script that's on the plots. And what we're doing is called casting. And basically we're just saying, like, treat this like it is something with the sim plot script on it, because it should be. And if it's not, then there's a bug. So, and that will let us access functions on that plot. So if we have a plot now, so at this point, if does not equal none, we'll assign Jake to it, and then we'll teleport him to it. So we'll go assign Jake. So plots are extended from a workshop object class so that we can just assign, an actor to them. I don't know if that's the exact name of the script, so we're going to have to go look that up really quick. So we're going to go to the base scripts, which are in the base game. Workshop object, script. And we'll try and find the assign function. So it looks like it is here, assign actor. Yep. So assign actor is correct. And we need to get Jake and assign him to it. So let's see, Jake alias.get actor ref as workshop NPC script, and that is because he will have that script on him. We actually have the workshop framework adds a different version of assign NPC, which doesn't require that script. We could have used that as well, and that would cast him automatically to it if it found it. This is a way we set up so that if you've ever looked on the workshop framework optional files, there's a file that says like alpha test proof of concept or something like that to assign any NPC into a settler. And like we built all that functionality behind the scenes. And then it's been one of those things that I don't think anybody else has bothered to tap into, but in theory, you can assign anybody as an NPC or anybody as a settler, even if they're not set up as one with this workshop NPC script. We gave Jake the script so I can just use it, and it just will speed up the code slightly. So we'll go ahead and assign him over to that, and then we'll just move him to it. So we'll just go Jake alias, and actually to speed things, let's get a little faster here. Okay, Jake ref equals Jake alias dot get actor ref, and then we can not have to keep touching the alias over and over again. And then we'll do dot move to residential plot ref. All right, so now basically what we've all done here, we are trying 5 times to let the base game, or let our base system find the plot for him. If it still fails, we grab all the plots that are near the player that are within 20,000 units, which is really huge. So for scope, for an idea, in the game, the width of most of the plots, of the 2x2 plots, is 512 units. So 20,000, what would that be? Like 40 plots across, right? 500 times 40 would be 20,000. So 40 plots across here in both directions. That's the radius, kind of the area we'll search in a circle that big, 40 plots across. Pretty huge. Should be plenty big. We're going to find the one that's closest to the player by just doing a little basic, very simplistic sorting algorithm. There's definitely a more efficient way to do this, but this is fine for what we're doing. And then we grab that reference, assign Jake to it, and move him to it. Now, in theory, this assign actor should trigger this stage to get set by itself. But if for some reason it didn't, or if we didn't even find a resonance plot and never got to call this, we'll just force the stage. So we'll just let him, he'll just start talking as if he's on the plot, and it should be fine. So this is kind of our fallback now. So that way, if the plot failed to be found, this will also cover us for, well, this won't cover us for pathing, actually. So we actually need a secondary thing to get past that. Because this will handle if the plot wasn't found, but if the plot was found and he's just not pathing, will that handle it? Let's look up what start building plot does. So this function tries to unlock the level and starts the Jake build scene. Let's check what the Jake build scene does. So we're going to back in the CK. Scenes, Jake builds. What does Jake builds do? All right, and let's see. Here's this Jake build plots. This is ignore for completion. Okay, good. Yeah, so just by the nature of running this function, this will trigger the scene to happen. So this just wasn't getting set fast enough. Okay, so I think what we'll do here is we'll do a fallback here. Okay, so let's say try to assign Jake plot did work. So an else here. And then what we'll do is we'll start a timer. And if after that timer's over, this still hasn't happened, we'll just force it to happen. So we're going to go start timer. And we're going to make up a new timer ID. Timer ID. And these are timer IDs. This iTimer ID thing I'm doing, this is something I've made up. This is like, timer IDs do exist, but the way I'm doing this isn't something that just exists by default. You'll see in a second what I'm talking about. So I'm going to make up a new timer ID. Check, or let's see, we'll call it force Jake build residential. And we'll give that, we'll give it 15 seconds as a fallback. Same thing we did up here. We said 5 times at 3-second wait each. That should be plenty of time where it's like the player's gonna be like, what's going on here? So that we have a fallback. So we're gonna come up here, and so I have all these timer IDs. They're just supposed to be a number, and you just have to have a unique number for each of them. It's how it differentiates when the timer is done, like which one it should run. So I just start using these consts because I don't like magical numbers hidden in my code if I can avoid it. Because if I just said the number 105, I'd be like, what the hell is 105? And then I would have 105 typed twice, right? I would have it once when I start the timer, and once when I'm checking the timers to see what timer just ran. Let's see here. So force Jake build residential. So then we will go down to here. So event on timer, else if AI timer ID equals our new timer here. All right, so then we're going to check when we get to this timer if, and I can't remember the name of the stage, so we're actually going to do this. We're going to go down to here again. This. We're basically checking like if this, we want this again. We want to run this code here if this fails. So go to here. All right, so when we get past the 15 seconds, we're going to check again. Hey, did this thing still not force Jake to do the plot? Then we'll just do it again. So now this should cover us for that. Now, testing this could be very difficult. Let me see here. Let's check. Did we make a save? Pre-run Jake to next plot. So I could go back to this one, but there's no guarantee that it will happen in the same sequence again. Because it may have already been running, and at this point it will be too late for this thing to happen. So we could try it, but there's no guarantee that this will actually work yet. So this is one of those things where we just have to like, I have to give this to our testing team and be like, hey, can you play through Quest 01 a few times and make sure nothing breaks, right? Make sure this didn't break anything. I can do that right now once to make sure it doesn't just full on break. But again, that's not a guarantee because I might get lucky. So this is the type of thing where we have so little control and so little visualization under what's going on with the engine. A lot of times we have to crowdsource this. We have to just release it. And I think, and sometimes it feels like this does that too, right? Where it's just like, they don't know how to fix this or how to confirm that their fix worked, so they just release it. I'm sure that's not the case in the sense that they have policies and stuff in place to make sure that it's not the case. Sometimes it feels like that, right? But we have no choice because we don't have all the tools we would need to analyze and check that this 100% works under all circumstances. But for now, sorry, I just dropped my note card on the floor that had my notes about fixes. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to give it our best. So we're going to compile this. We need to compile MQMaster MQ01. So let's go in here, and then we're going to have to set that new script property that we made. So let's do MQMaster first. Oops. Nope, that's not what I want. I want compile. Okay, so we actually, I reused a variable, so we got to fix that. 567 on MQ01. All right, where did I reuse a variable? Oh, down here. So we're in, we can just reuse it. We can just not declare it again because we're fully done with it by the time we get to here. That's fine. Okay, easy peasy. Okay, I must return a bool value 1415. All right, let's go. Oops. Control G 1415. Wait a second. Oh, wrong file. This one. Control G 1415. Okay, because we added this new try to assign Jake to next plot. So right here it's destroyed, so we'll return false. Make sure we're always returning a value. Yeah, there we go. All right, try this again. And now we compile MQ01. Okay, we got some little flaws in our code we got to sort out here. So line 560 of MQ01 has a problem. All right, what is it? See if I can find it real quickly here. 560. Okay, it doesn't like me assigning this to none, I'm guessing. Unknown type. Oh, I probably typoed this. So it must be object references. Sim1 v2 object references simplot. Is that better? Let's see if that makes it happy. Okay, cool. So that took care of that one, but now 562, it's unhappy. Oh, and I forgot to cast here. So we assigned k-residential plot ref there, but we forgot to cast it because these nearby residential plots are just object references, and we're looking for an object reference which has this script on it. So we're saying, hey, these do have this script on it. You just need that little line to tell you that that's the case. Actually, I guess what we're saying here with these casts is we're saying, hey, it's okay, compiler. You can assume that this reference will have this script, and that's why we're going to cast it as that, and we're confident in that. But the nice thing is you can also use that as a test, because if this fails, if the cast fails, this will just get set to none. So it'll be like a null reference, so that you can then check like, well, we're already doing that. We're showing, going down here, we're saying if it does not equal none, it will set to none if a cast fails. Okay, so it's still saying, oh, I did the same thing again. I did singular object references, and I did it down here as well. I did singular object reference, and that is just the folder name or the namespace that the script is in. Okay, compiling. All right, Jake alias is undefined. That is shocking. Okay, so it's probably just called Jake. Okay, I was looking at MQ. Okay, so I don't actually have a Jake. That can't be right. Hold on, let me see. Jake in here. Do we really not have a reference alias to Jake on the first quest? That would be very odd. Reference, player reference, reference alias. No, we don't. Okay, we were just piping through MQ master. I guess that's fine this early. I would consider this like bad practice, what we did here. I shouldn't say we, I should say I did almost all of the quest work for the main quest for chapter 1. I won't say I did all the work on chapter 1, not even close. But the quest, all the like quest implementation, this was I think Sarik did the dialogue entry, and then I made it all function. So it was definitely my choice to not put him on here, to put Jake's thing on here, and I would not do that in hindsight. Like having basically what you do. The reason I wouldn't do this is because when you're accessing outside from one script to another repeatedly, you're creating a lot of like script traffic, and it creates what are called latent calls, which means your script pauses briefly, like for the frame, and then lets other scripts have a chance to touch it, and it just basically drags out your code, makes it take much longer than it needs to. And it's in milliseconds, so most players won't notice it. But when you have those kind of in like what would you be like when you have those kind of tiny I don't want to say inconsistencies. There's a word I'm looking for. Those like tiny failures, I guess. Those tiny like things that are just not as fast as they need to be. Like unoptimized little bits. And we add up enough of those, and it just starts to cause the whole thing to go too slow. Is that all I needed? Just that one? I feel like there was a second one. Okay, we will call it. Okay, one last fix here. 599. Oh, I did a 15.0. I gave it a float timer instead of an integer. Makes sense. Okay, it just wants a number of seconds. Doesn't take half seconds basically. Oh, unless I have actually, you know what? I have that backwards. That's why. Start timer. I think you do the time first and the ID second. Yep, that's the problem. So I need to go 15.0. There we go. This is, so the number of languages that I go through in a week anymore. So I now do code for Papyrus, C#, PHP, JavaScript. What else am I coding? I'm coding so many languages. I'm like, my brain is toast right now. The most recent one I've been doing is C#. So I'm like, the lack of semicolons in all these lines is like, no, there's going to be so many bugs. All right, let's go ahead and add our new script property here. Inefficiencies. Thank you, Raven, with the word. See, my brain's fried. I can't even think of a basic word like that. Inefficiencies. Yeah, all those little inefficiencies start adding up and causing problems. And my MQ master script has a lot of traffic already, so I don't need to add more to it. But because this is at the start of a player's game, there's not going to be a ton. It's not going to be worth fussing over. I just would generally just keep better practice up front. Okay, so let's bop back over to the game. And we're going to have to replay through this one more time. So I'm going to get you guys over to my just blank desktop for a moment. And then I will package this up. So I'm going to have to, actually, you know what I'm going to bring you guys back in just a second. Let me start uploading these files, and then I want to show you guys just a quick packaging. And replaced existing file. Okay, now let me bring up my package mods directory. Okay, so to speed up packaging, I tend to just load everything right into Archive 2. So let me bring this up. Scene, transition. Okay. So again, so these BA2 files that you'll have, these are your main BA2 is where your scripts end up going. What I started doing is I associated my BA2 files with Archive 2. So when you first go to try and double click one of these BA2s, you can direct, Windows will tell you when you try and double click a new file, it'll be like, what do you want to use to open this? And if you navigate to your Fallout 4 folder under Tools, after you have the CK installed, Archive 2, and you give it to this Archive 2 program, you can then just double click that BA2 and you can just add entire folders or drag and drop stuff right into here. So in this case, I probably have it saved because I do this so often. Yeah, so we can just quickly jump in data, and it will remember the last place you got it from, but we can just go to our scripts, grab our subfolder of scripts, and we'll just grab the whole folder to make sure that we didn't miss any updates. And then I can just save from here, and that will update our BA2 file. All right, so let's go back into here. This is going to take a minute to upload this because this BA2 file is going to be kind of chunky. It's like almost a gig. My internet's pretty good though, so it should be. I just don't know. We may have some stream stuttering while it's uploading this 1 gig file. So hang tight if we start to see anything. Fortunately, not a lot of footage for you guys to be stuttering on. You just might hear my voice kind of getting choppy for a second here once I start this upload. Let me let it save. Even saving out this 1 gig file is making me question the how good my hard drive is these days. I'm like, maybe I need a RAID setup here. All right, upload says it's only going to take 4 minutes, so not bad. All right, we can pop up the other computer. I can at least grab the KG edits file. So I apologize if I have missed all of your guys' chat for the last hour while I'm sorting through all this stuff, but that is probably going to be a consistent thing with when I'm trying to work my brain through all this code problems. Oh, I saw somebody mention Python. That's another one I'm working with all the time. Don't look at me, I just got here. Hey, Starhammer, how are you? How are we doing on the old broken precombines in SS2 these days? I actually have an issue. I don't think it's precombines. It's something very odd. We have a couple of things in HQ near the foyer in the back where there's up to the right of the, like on either side of the stairs, there's these beams that keep disappearing, despite the fact that I have them enable parented to a thing that's that never gets disabled. Because if it did, there would be all sorts of things would disappear with it. I don't know what's going on there. Some sort of weird rendering bug. All right, go double check on our upload time here. Haven't touched it since the last release. Oh, well, which release? We've had 3 releases since the beginning of November. Floating point related issues again, maybe. Uncertain what it is. It's it may be that I just need to regen the precombine there. Maybe something like that. 342. Okay. Yeah, we're on 343 now. I don't think I did anything in the cell though. So if it's not, if you didn't get any errors on 342, it should be fine. All right, less than a minute left on this upload. This is going to be the hard part of the testing, and where I may have to, for this stream, may have to come up with a better solution for how I can troubleshoot this, because I need to keep my dev environment separate from the live stream environment. I'll have a think on this. I can set up. Yeah, I may have to set up like a. I don't know what's a good. What do you? Do any of you guys have a good options for like direct transfer? Files between 2 PCs. Like, I don't know. I guess I could do a, I don't know. I'm trying to think what a good way to do this would be. That would be faster. Is there like can you do like a USB-C to C? Is that faster? I don't know. It would be a really like a stupid fast way to pass a 1 gig file between 2 PCs. Because doing it over my Ethernet is not fast for some reason. It takes several minutes instead of, you would think just doing the math, like, oh, that should take 20 seconds, 10 seconds. But that is never the case for me. Okay, let's see. I got our file now. Okay, let's load back into the game. And we're going to play through our Jake intro one more time. We'll trigger combat again as usual. And we'll put the plot in the same spot. We are not going to give it stairs. And we'll see if some of our fallbacks kick into play here. Now, normally I would do... I would have put a bunch of debug in to check that our paths are following, but I'm trying to okay, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm on the right save. Trying to get visual confirmation here that things are working first, because that's more interesting than you guys looking through my gigantic debug logs. I've shown you enough uninteresting things. Yeah, it's true. I could just bust out a flash drive. I can see a pile of them in the corner of my desk that I'd never use. That would be a solution. That might be faster than what we just dealt with. Just get it. Make sure I grab a USB-C flash drive. It should be pretty fast. Okay, here we go. So let's summon Senior Jake. All right, we will patiently wait for him to catch up to us. All right, so it's clear, like this one little issue. Well, first, a couple things. One, as you can see, this is why little silly issues exist in mods forever, because, we've spent an hour and a half on this one tiny little issue, right? Just that combat can mess up this scene. And it led us to a second bug, like the, yeah, it's basically just the issue started with, during combat, it could break this scene, and then he would just wander off to who knows where. And then once we fixed that and we gave him a fallback package, the issue became that he can't always path to his plot, but it actually may be a case of occasionally the plot is not being detected by the SS2 core code to feed into the quest, into the AI package via linked ref. So we had to create just like all of these fallback options of like, here's one in case the plot can't be found. Here's one in case he just can't path there. So we ended up creating all these fallbacks, and it's taken us, well over an hour to troubleshoot this one little bit. Still not done because we still have to finish this testing, and then we need, of course, testing verification from somebody besides me.
If I'm not mistaken, you're the fella I've been looking for.
This is the life of bug fixing mods.
You hear my broadcast?
All right, we're gonna power through this here.
That's right.
Well, in that case, it's called a...
Okay. Care to will.
Okay, let's go put it in our same spot. But the second thing I want to mention is, or ask you guys rather, is what do you guys think of this format for doing a series of stopping and doing detailed modding explanations? Did any of you enjoy that part? Am I better off just quickly going through it and not trying to get into the nitty-gritty? Because I definitely could have fixed it a little faster if I wasn't trying to explain it all. But sometimes just explaining it to you guys actually helps me too. So it wasn't totally for your benefit that I explained all of the little nitty-gritty details. But if any number of you guys are finding it interesting, useful, enjoyable to do it this way, then I would love to continue this. Otherwise, we can shorten up the debugging period, and I can just kind of power through it, not silently, but more in my head, and less walking you through step by step. This is definitely a series I'm going to adapt as we go. I have on my notes that I need to get a...
Congratulations!
Alright, we're going to let this talk, and then when he tells me about after the scanning happens, we'll summon some raiders. I definitely want to get a stream deck for quickly jumping back between the CK and this PC. And I need a faster mechanism for passing the scripts over to this PC.
America's #1 sensor solution.
Nicely done. Don't mind the ASAM. It's just scanning the area for materials.
All right, you guys. Okay, so you guys are enjoying it. Okay, cool. I'm glad this was. I wanted something for a change of pace too, because I feel like I've been doing the same stream over and over again for
part, I'm gonna pretend
4
to be
years.
a settler.
We need to do something a little different.
So just play along, all right?
Okay, all right. Here's where we need to drop in some raiders. All right, so help raider for NPC. And we need some base game raiders. None of these Nuka World guys with their fancy factions and stuff. Playset me 11004443.
I sure am glad I found this settlement to live in. But oh no!
Oh, no, he's just not interested.
And I don't know how to build one myself. I get.
Heads up.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. They just weren't shooting him. Okay, so now I started again.
All right then.
So the first part still worked.
Now for this next
he didn't
part,
leave the settlement and wander off to nowhere.
It's come to work for you.
Okay, so now we speed through this.
I guess.
Don't sell yourself short.
You're right. But wait.
What do you need it for?
That is a great question. You see, with an ASAM, there's no barrier for entry when it comes to building something.
Okay, so now we wait and see if... So he's pathing to the plot immediately, so something changed.
Once you've placed down a sensor...
Yeah, wow, that's the snappiest I've ever seen that work.
Pretty much done.
I think our fallback code likely kicked in there. He even got to the... Look at that, he even did it without the teleport or the... what do you call it? The stairs. That was awesome. That was a great fix. I need to copy-paste that fix for the other plot buildings. That worked so much faster than I'm used to. Well, I would call this a success then. I need to pass it off to our testing team and make sure that they don't have any weird
directions that
issues,
the
but
ASAM
I'm pretty
provides
happy
are
with this
so
so
easy to
far.
understand, even a savage
Alright,
could do
so
with
I'm
no
writing
problem.
myself some notes here about what I need to change in this setup. Let's see.
All right, just one more nail, and finished.
A man's home is his castle, and no one understands that better than Rocco. Our ASAM sensor technology offers citizens unrivaled freedom of DIY home design. Built using locally sourced materials and designed via our patented dynamic easy-build blueprint software. With Rocco brand ASAM sensors, everyone can have a roof over their head. After all, a warm and dry citizen is a productive citizen.
And there you have it. A fully built home. Ready for habitation by some lucky wastelander. And you barely had to lift a finger. Not too shabby, huh? So now that you've seen what they can do, what do you think? Are ASAM sensors something you might be interested in?
Where's the apps? Absolutely option. Let's go.
Yes, I'm really interested.
I thought you might be. Unfortunately, right now I only have the one sensor on me. However, I can provide you with more. And once you have more, I can show you even more stuff you could build with them. Homes are just the start. But first, I'm gonna have to ask for a little task done in return.
Alright, so let's see. That's gonna be a, we'll see if this works out of, I already cleared those raiders.
Of course. Just tell me what you need help with.
Alright, here it is. I got me a workshop in a town called Concord. Nice enough place, fairly quiet. Or at least it was. But just recently, I returned from a trade run to find the entire town overrun by raiders. And now I can't get near my workshop. A small group I could deal with, but there's too many for me to take on alone. So I'm gonna need someone to help take them out. So there it is. That's the job. You help me get rid of these raiders, I'll give you more ASAMs. And show you how to build even more stuff with them.
There's no need to worry. I already took care of those raiders.
You did? Huh. I need to go check this out for myself. Not that I don't believe you, but, you know. I'll meet you outside of Concord Hardware. Then we can discuss your payment.
Alright, let's see how he handles this. There's no stairs. How are you going to do it, Jake? You jump off the roof of the hardware store all the time. You can't do this? You can't take a little hop off of a platform? Let's see. Oh, there he goes. He found a way. Good job, Jake. Good job. And off he goes. Okay. Well, this was a good first episode. We found a bug. We fixed it. And we accidentally found a way to improve some of the core mod code that handles setting up Jake's next demonstration. So it'll be very interesting if I plug that in. And that'll be something we'll do probably next week. We'll try plugging that code into the agricultural and industrial demonstrations and see what happens. See if it suddenly makes those snappy, because I think that's something I've watched. Every time I watch somebody's playthrough of SS2, I notice that residential tends to work pretty quickly. That was the fastest I've ever seen it work, but it'll work pretty quickly, and then agricultural and industrial, it just takes 15, 20, 30 seconds. GC2 Doc Doherty, thank you for the subscribe. All right, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you all had a great New Year. I am looking forward to continuing the stream. I think this is going to be good. We're going to see SS2 keep improving. I am intending on just hardcore going on the bug fixes for months. We have nothing in development right now as far as content patches, because this is just too important. Like, some of the stuff we're getting into with some of the upcoming content patches is just like, we have to have a rock solid foundation we need to have. And I need to take on some of those tasks, like the redesigning the warrior system, that are just going to be a big project. So, and if I don't have other things distracting me, like trying to coordinate quest expansions, then I can focus on that kind of stuff. So looking forward to keep doing this. I hope you guys will keep joining me, and I will be back with this stream next Wednesday. But of course, my Sunday variety stream will continue, presumably this weekend, unless something comes up again. But presumably we'll get back to our Skyrim playthrough on Sunday. So thank you guys for joining me. I will catch you either Sunday or Wednesday.